Chapter 4740. Very soon, news of this matter spread. Countless people were shocked. They didn't expect Lin Xian to attack the Wind Clan after attacking the Z Mansion. What a bully! When the Golden Crow clan heard about it, they were furious. Who did this brat think he was? Did he really think he could behave atrociously above the heads of the desolate ancient families? The leader of the Golden Crow clan looked ahead. The elder of the Wind Clan said, "Don't worry, we'll send people over." Thank you. The Wind Clan is eternally grateful for the kindness of the Golden Crow clan. At the same time, the Light Clan, Sacred Heavens Clan, Serene Cloud Sect, and even the Z Mansion went over to invite them to attack Lin Xian. The people of the Serene Cloud Sect rejected them. The previous incident had caused their sect master to be severely injured. They didn't want to participate in anything now. The people of the Light Clan and Sacred Heavens Clan frowned. Was Lin Xian really so arrogant? They didn't think so. The leader of the Light Clan asked, "What happened? Why did Lin Xian attack the Wind Clan?" Well, the elder of the Wind Clan hesitated. He couldn't say that they wanted to suppress Lin Xian and steal his treasures. Seeing this, the people of the Light Clan understood. He said, "It seems that things aren't that simple. If that's the case, we can't help." The elder of the Wind Clan sighed and turned to leave. Although the Sacred Heavens Clan was suspicious, the leader of the Sacred Heavens Clan had joined forces with the Wind Clan to attack the Netherworld Hierarch. Therefore, they decided to take a look. Soon, the great sage of the Golden Crow Clan and Sacred Heavens Clan arrived. When the people of the Wind Clan saw this, they were so excited that they were about to cry. The leader of the Wind Clan exclaimed, "Friend, you came at the right time. Quick, help me suppress them. This brat is too arrogant." After the great sage of the Golden Crow clan arrived, they stared at Lin Xian with murderous intent. They charged over. The people beside Lin Xian shouted coldly. The Supreme Elder of the Eternal Life Hall and the Dragon's experts attacked and forced the great sage of the Golden Crow clan to retreat. Damn it, why were there people of the dragons? They were shocked. At this moment, the starry sky beasts in the sky shone down tens of thousands of rays of light, which made their scalps go numb. This time, there were even more people than when they attacked the Purple Mansion. When the patriarch of the saintly race arrived and saw this scene, he said, "Everyone listen to me. This seems to be a misunderstanding." From the looks of it, they didn't intend to attack directly, but were here to mediate. There was no misunderstanding. Just kill them directly. The Wind Clan's clan leader came over and said with gritted teeth. On the other side, Lin Xian waved his hand. Everyone stopped and looked at the newcomers with cold expressions. Lin Xian looked to the front and frowned slightly. "Golden Crow race, you dare to come over? You are courting death. I will send you all to hell together." At the same time, he looked at the people from the Saint Heavens clan. "Saint Heavens clan, do you want to be my enemy too? Why is young Master Lin attacking the Wind Clan?" The patriarch of the saintly race asked. If the other party attacked without any reason, they would have to make a move no matter what. Because their Saint Heavens clan could be the next Wind Clan. When Lin Xian heard this, he laughed. "Didn't the Wind Clan tell you the reason why they invited you? Alright, I will tell you. The Wind Clan's clan leader tricked me and suppressed me. 6 great sage wanted to take my soul and steal my 9 sons' inheritance. Don't you think I should take revenge?" "What?" The people from the Saint Heavens clan were shocked. The great sage sucked in a cold breath. The patriarch of the Saint Heavens clan's face darkened. He knew that there was a problem, but he didn't expect it to be so serious. It was no wonder that Lin Xian would lead people to attack the Wind Clan. On the other side, the great sage of the Golden Crow race's eyes flickered. They looked at the Wind Clan. The Wind Clan's clan leader said, "Don't listen to his nonsense. This lad is too arrogant. Let's suppress him together." However, the patriarch of the Saint Heavens clan shook his head and sighed. "Brother Feng, we can't do this." The Wind Clan's clan leader's face changed. The Golden Crow race's clan leader also said, "Are you afraid of him?" The Saint Heavens clan's clan leader said, "6 great sage besieging a young man has already violated the rules we set together. I have no reason to take action." However, seeing that my clan has been on good terms with the Wind Clan for many years, I can provide you with some help. But if you want us to attack Lin Xian directly, we won't. The Saint Heaven's clan drew a clear line. Lin Xian nodded. Very good. Then he looked at the Golden Crow Race's clan leader and sneered. Are you guys on the Wind Clan side? Don't blame me. Next, I will attack the Golden Crow Race. The Golden Crow Race's clan leader's face changed. If that was the case, could the Golden Crow Race resist Lin Xian and so many terrifying people? For a moment, they hesitated. The Wind Clan's clan leader was in despair. However, at this moment, the elder of the Wind Clan came to the Z Mansion and requested for reinforcements. After hearing this, Feng Xiaoqing sighed. He brought the Purple Mansion's clan leader with him to the Wind Clan. At this moment of crisis, he descended from the sky. Great, the Purple Mansion's clan leader is here. Seeing Feng Xiaoqing and the Purple Mansion's clan leader, the Wind Clan leader recovered. They hoped that the Purple Mansion would stand on their side. Then there was hope. It was the Purple Mansion's clan leader. The Dragon's clan leader frowned. The Mountain Sea Palace's clan leader also took in a cold breath. The other great sects were also on high alert. Back then, so many experts and sects had joined forces to attack, but the Purple Mansion's clan leader could not do anything. They could only injure the Purple Mansion's clan leader. If it wasn't for the Purple Mansion's clan leader breaking the seal, their losses would have been even more severe. Now that the Purple Mansion's clan leader was here, the situation was complicated. Young man, don't go too far. Feng Xiaoqing looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, You have already killed many Wind Clan experts. You can stop now. You want me to stop with just one sentence? How laughable. Then I'll suppress you, torture you, and steal your inheritance. Then I'll apologize to you. Is that okay? If you agree, I'll do that to you right now. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Feng Xiaoqing's face sank. What do you want? Lin Xian sneered. It's very simple. Those who attacked me before have to die. Including the Wind Clan leader. Feng Xiaoqing's face changed when he heard that. If the Wind Clan leader was killed, wouldn't the Wind Clan leader become a joke? Why are you afraid of losing face and suffering heavy losses? Then, when you were on top of me, did you think about the consequences? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Come on, Purple Mansion. Do you think you can represent the Purple Mansion? At most, we'll just go to another place. Have the Heavenly Court ever been afraid of you? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The heaven-devouring jar shone brightly. Lin Xian had the heaven-devouring jar, and he had joined forces with He Shan. So these people had long thought of him as someone from the Heavenly Court. Since that was the case, there was no need for him to hide it. Chapter 47-41. Since that was the case, there was nothing left to say. Young Master Feng roared. Let's do it. He walked out with the people from the Purple Mansion. On the other side, the people from the Golden Crow race took a deep breath. They said that they could do it, but they had to give them a share of the 9 sons' inheritance after suppressing him. Damn it. The leader of the Wind race clenched his teeth. But at this moment, they really needed each other's strength. The people from the Holy Heaven race retreated to the back. They would not participate in the battle. The battle had already erupted. With the addition of the Purple Mansion and the Golden Crow race, the Wind race's strength was extremely strong. The 3 legendary saint weapons were released. Unparalleled radiance rushed over. It was terrifying to the extreme. Lin Xian roared. He took out the Great Dragon Sword Soul and released a terrifying radiance. Give me strength, he roared. Ruffian Long used the array to activate the spirit veins. With the help of the dragons, Ruffian Long used the power of the 81 deity islands and poured it all into the Great Dragon Sword Soul. Dragon Chi burst out. With the dragon blood provided by the dark red divine dragon and the others, the Great Dragon Sword Soul was extremely strong. With a slash, heaven and earth shattered. It was like the sword of a god. Even though the other party had 3 legendary saint weapons, they were still pushed back. After the slash, Lin Xian's face turned pale. Endless cracks appeared on his arms. Using the Great Dragon Sword Soul was too much for him. His arms were shattered and turned into a bloody mist. Using the immortal indestructible art, His broken arms recovered. Beside him, Dan Feng provided him with a large amount of pills. At the same time, the Wind Race's Deity Islands were destroyed and turned into ashes. All of their energy had been used up. The people from the Wind Race were in despair. They were using their own strength to attack them. Damn it. Seal. They must not let them use the Spirit Veins' energy. Phoenix led the people to seal the Spirit Veins quickly. The people from the Golden Crow race and the Purple Mansion race were shocked. Was this the legendary Great Dragon Sword? It was too strong. Furthermore, the other party focused on attacking. His attack power was incomparably strong, causing them to vomit blood nonstop. If it wasn't for a legendary saint weapon, no one would have been able to survive this slash. Even the great sage would have been annihilated in body and soul. Damn it! Feng Shaoqing shouted angrily. To those people from the Z government, they had to use their trump cards. The Purple Palace sect had a lot of methods, although they had to pay a price. Someone with terrifying demonic chi around his body said, "I can build the 9 underworld gate. Everyone, provide me with power." Since the Purple Palace Hall had the 9 nether scripture, it was obvious that someone had already mastered it. The great sage began to cast a spell. A 9 underworld gate appeared behind him, emitting a terrifying aura. The people in the surroundings also provided energy, and the 9 underworld doors opened. A terrifying aura spread out from within. Clearly, an unknown god was about to appear. How terrifying! Legend had it that the 9 underworld's gate was connected to another world. It was terrifying to the extreme. The people from the Longevity Hall were shocked. Lin Xian and the others all frowned. Lin Xian clenched his teeth. He said that he would use the heaven-swallowing jar to block the legendary saint weapon and then use the great dragon sword to attack them. That way, he would be split into 2. Although the great sage could provide him with energy, he was afraid that his body would be seriously injured. At this moment of crisis, 9 cauldrons appeared in the sky, suppressing a part of the world. The 9 underworld gate kept shattering. The great sage coughed up blood and was sent flying. A loud and clear voice rang out, "Z government, do you think there is no one in the heavenly court?" It was the people from the heavenly court. The people from the Wind Clan felt their scalps go numb. The 9 cauldrons bloomed in the sky, and faintly discernible figures flickered. If the Z government wants to attack, the heavenly court will accompany them to the end. Damn it! Feng Shaoqing clenched his teeth. The people from the Golden Crow clan also acted as if they were facing a great enemy. They had seen these people's methods before. At this moment, a purple light streaked across the sky from afar, and a scroll appeared in front of Feng Shaoqing. After Feng Shaoqing received it, he roared in anger. "What's going on?" the leader of the Wind Clan asked. Feng Shaoqing clenched his teeth and closed his eyes. He said that the Z government had sent a letter, saying that they did not want us to participate too much. What? The Z government was giving up on them? The expressions of the people from the Wind Clan changed greatly. It shouldn't be. The Wind Clan is willing to stand on the Z government's side. Please, the Z government must support us fully. A great sage beside Feng Shaoqing said, "Of course we want to help you, but the matter of the seal has caused the Z government to suffer heavy losses. We can't mobilize too much power now. It can only be said that your luck is not good this time. Let's do as this kid says. Otherwise, if we really fight, the 81 islands of the Wind Clan will be destroyed." Damn it! The great sage of the Wind Clan roared. The leader of the Wind Clan also clenched his teeth. "Even without the Z government, I can do it too. Do you think we don't have any trump cards? Go use them." The Wind Clan was an ancient family with tens of thousands of years of history. They definitely had trump cards, but they would not use them unless it was a matter of life and death. The leader of the Wind Clan saw that it was a matter of life and death, so he had to use his trump cards. Endless runes appeared on his body as he used his bloodline power to the extreme. He took out the seal of the Wind Clan. The other 5 great sage also stood in 5 different directions. They formed a formation to communicate with the power of heaven and earth. One of the mountains shone brightly, and the ground cracked open. There were endless divine crystals inside. There were many old men sleeping there. Buzz. At this moment, A saber light slashed across and split the formation in half. The leader of the Wind Clan and the others trembled and spat out blood. Their faces were pale. Who dared to attack them? In the next moment, they saw a skinny old man who looked like a mummy walk over. The power of wind on his body was extremely terrifying. It was Elder Feng. The leader of the Wind Clan exclaimed. The other members of the Wind Clan also knelt on the ground. Greetings, Patriarch. He was the oldest of the Wind Clan's experts who were still awake. In 30 years, he would be sealed and become their trump card. He would not participate in ordinary battles because it would consume his vitality and life. However, he had made a move at this moment. Elder Feng Yi, why don't you let me use my trump card? The leader of the Wind Clan roared. Elder Feng Yi leaned on his walking stick and snorted coldly. You don't deserve to use your trump card. This time, it's all yours. Everything I do is for the clan. All right, there's no need to say any more. The trump card of the Wind Clan is for the true moment of life and death. It's not for you. Elder Feng Yi's eyes shone with a cold light. He walked over and looked at Lin Xian. I already know what you want from me, and I can fulfill your wish. However, you have to promise me that after these people are dead, you can't bring people to attack the Wind Clan. Sure, but my request is that the 6 great sage, including the leader of the Wind Clan, must die. You don't have any objections, right? Chapter 47-42. Upon hearing this, the people of the Wind Tribe were stunned. Were they really going to let the 6 great sage fall? This was a huge loss for any remote antiquity family. Those were great sage after all. But they had no choice. If the 6 great sage did not die, more people of the Wind Tribe would fall. Elder Feng Yi turned around and looked at the 6 of them. Do you still want to fight back? To what extent do you want to implicate the family? He then looked at the leader of the Wind Tribe and sighed. Do it yourself. You are the leader of a tribe after all. You should die with dignity. I know. The leader of the Wind Tribe had despair in her eyes. For the sake of the family, she had to fall. She looked at the people around her and said, Do it. Let's give our descendants a chance to live. Did we really do it wrong? The faces of the people of the Wind Tribe were filled with despair. Then they started to burn themselves. 6 balls of godly fire bloomed in the sky. They lit up the entire sky. The terrifying aura sent chills down everyone's spine. Eventually, they turned into ashes. Leader. The people of the Wind Tribe knelt on the ground. Blood rained down from the sky. The 6 great sage of the Wind Tribe were gone. Was young Master Lin satisfied? Elder Feng Yi looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian said coldly, If there was a next time, it wouldn't be so simple. I will annihilate the entire Wind Clan. Let's go. Those who had attacked him previously, regardless of whether it was a small sage or a powerful leader, were all dead. Now that all of them were dead, his revenge could be considered complete. Therefore he could leave now. Let's go. Turning around, he left with the people of Pill Cauldron Sect and Longevity Hall. On the other side, the Dark Red Divine Dragon and Wu Yuan also left with their people. The group of them disappeared from the Wind Tribe. The people of the Wind Tribe were filled with despair. Elder Feng Yi looked at the Holy Heavens Tribe and Golden Crow Tribe. Thank you for coming. The Wind Tribe will definitely repay you in the future. Then he looked at the people of the Purple Mansion. Thank you too. If there is anything you need in the future, please let me know. Feng Shaoqing sighed when he saw this. It seemed that he wasn't the only one who had entered the Z government. In the future, the Wind Clan would also stand on the Z government's side. Phoenix stood on top of a divine island and was completely stunned. The Wind Clan had lost 7 great sage immortals, including the clan leader, because of a single young man. What kind of loss was this? Damn it, he couldn't accept it. He gritted his teeth, but there was nothing he could do. After this, the Wind Clan's strength would be greatly reduced. They would have to recuperate in the future. Furthermore, they would never dare to provoke Lin Xian again. Following that, the Holy Heavens race, Golden Crow race, and Violet Mansion race left one after another. News of this matter quickly spread. When everyone knew the result, they were all stunned. No way, the clan leader of the Wind Clan had fallen. Apart from that, 6 other great sage had fallen as well. More than a dozen of the Wind Clan's divine islands had been destroyed. Heavens, this Lin Wudi is really too heaven-defying. Is there no one who can control him anymore? However, the truth was also spread. Some people said that the Wind Clan deserved it. It was said that the clan leader of the Wind Clan had personally led 6 great sage immortals to take Lin Xian's soul. They even wanted to obtain the 9 sons' inheritance. Lin Xian was a passive counter to. So there was such a thing. It seemed that the Wind Clan was really unlucky. This time, they had really shot themselves in the foot. It seemed that they would never dare to touch Lin Xian again in the future. Countless families were shocked. Although Lin Xian was full of treasures, the price to pay for provoking him was too high. Lin Xian had caused another storm in Taiqing Ancient City. At this moment, everyone was in awe of him. Those ancient families and great sects would not dare to touch him easily. On the other side, Lin Xian and the rest did not leave. They were hiding in the void, as if they were waiting for something. Countless flames soared into the sky in front of them, forming one golden crow after another. These people were the powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan who had left the Wind Clan. At this moment, they were rushing back to their clan. Then, in the next moment, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Countless terrifying auras sealed the surroundings. Who is it? The powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan roared. I've said it before. If you dare to touch me, I'll make you regret it. Since you're going to help the Wind Clan, then go to hell and meet up with the clan leader of the Wind Clan. Lin Xian walked out and said coldly, "Damn brat, it's you." The great sage of the Golden Crow clan turned green. They did not expect the other party to intercept them halfway. Damn it, the great sage had far more people than them. On the other side, they were no match for them at all. The great sage fled in all directions, but how could they escape? In this battle, the powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan who had rushed over to help all died. Their souls were destroyed, but their bodies turned into delicious barbecued meat. They were taken away. Not long after, news came from Taiqing Ancient City. Several great sage of the Golden Crow clan and a group of powerhouses had also died. No one knew who had done it. Countless people were shocked when they heard the news. They had already guessed that it was Lin Xian who had done it, but there was no evidence. After the Golden Crow clan learned about it, they were about to go crazy. However, they could only go crazy with anger and did not dare to attack. The current Lin Xian was really powerful to the extreme. He could suppress the ancient families. If they wanted to take revenge, they could only find an opportunity in the future. Lin Xian and the others returned to Pill Cauldron Sect. A banquet was held. Yi Wudao was waiting at Pill Cauldron Sect. When he saw Lin Xian, he said, "It's great that you're fine." Lin Xian walked over and said, "It's all thanks to you this time. You saved my life. If you need anything in the future, just tell me. I definitely won't frown. We're brothers. This little help is nothing." Yi Wudao smiled. "Yes, that's right. Good brother, let's have a drink." Lin Xian laughed and pulled Yi Wudao to drink. The powerhouses of Mountain Sea Palace, Gu Family, Longevity Hall, Fire God Palace, and other sects did not leave. They drank and chatted together. Lin Xian thanked them one by one. This time, it was all thanks to these people. Otherwise, he would really be in danger. The dark red divine dragon, the toad, and Whitey were all gathered together, drinking happily. As for their food, it was naturally just killed. The corpses of the great sage of the Golden Crow clan were like mountains and contained endless energy. Not only was it delicious, but it could also improve their strength. After this meal, everyone's body shone brilliantly as if they had become immortals. Everyone gathered for half a month before the sects said goodbye one by one. The Hall of Eternal Life, the Fire God Palace, and the Gu family brought some experts back to Mount Eternal. Lin Xian promised them that if he had time in the future, he would go to Mount Eternal and help them pick immortal herbs. The powerhouses of the 3 sects were very grateful. On the other side, Lin Xian also met Elder Wu Yuan. The Mountain Sea Palace's help also played a big role. Elder Wu Yuan smiled. "You're a member of the Mountain Sea Palace. Naturally, I have to help you. The disciples of the Mountain Sea Palace are not to be bullied by anyone. Little guy, I think very highly of you. Elder Wu Yuan also thought highly of Lin Xian. He was a young genius who could become a supreme existence in the future. He might even enter the Emperor realm. Chapter 47-43. Palace Lord Wu Yuan invited Lin Xian back to the Mountain Sea Palace. Lin Xian was wondering if he should go or not. Anyway, he had already caused 2 huge storms here. The Wind Clan and Zifu Clan probably wanted to kill him. He wouldn't give them a chance. He was ready to go. At this moment, the dark red dragon came over and said, "I'll go too. Kid, you have to go back to the dragons with me." Black sea dragons? Then we can be considered neighbors. Palace Lord Wu Yuan smiled. Indeed, the Mountain Sea Palace relied on the mountains and the Black Sea on the other side. Okay, let's go together. Lin Xian nodded. Then he looked at Yi Wudao and asked, "Wu Dao, where are you going next?" Yi Wudao said, "I came out to cultivate. Now that I've seen the geniuses of Taiqing Ancient City, I'm going to another city. Holy Abyss Ancient City. This city was stronger than Taiqing Ancient City. There were more geniuses here. Brother Lin, come over after you're done." Holy Abyss Ancient City? Lin Xian took a deep breath. "Okay, I'll go." Then Yi Wudao left. He went to Holy Abyss Ancient City alone. Lin Xian said goodbye to the people of Danding School and returned to the Mountain Sea Palace with the Dark Red Dragon, the Toad, Elder Ruochen, Palace Lord Win, and the others. Dan Feng waved her hand and said, "Lin Xian, I'll also go to Holy Abyss Ancient City. We'll meet again then." "Let's go." Palace Lord Wu Yuan waved his hand, and the space beast covered them and they disappeared. The great sage was very fast, and he didn't have to worry about other people's attacks. Lin Xian asked, "Ruffian Dragon, why do you want me to go back to the dragons?" The dark red dragon said, "Apart from not seeing you for a long time, there's something I need your help with. It's a long story. I'll tell you later." Lin Xian nodded and closed his eyes to cultivate immortality and indestructibility. They didn't speak along the way. They returned to Shanghai City and arrived at the Mountain Sea Palace. Greetings to the Palace Master. When the people of the Mountain Sea Palace saw Elder Wu Yuan return, they respectfully bowed. It was that Lin Xian. Had he also returned with the Hall Master? Countless people looked at Lin Xian. When they looked at the dark red divine dragon, they were shocked. Some of the demon beasts they had subdued started to roar anxiously. "Hall Master, who is this?" Many elders walked up and asked. Palace Master Wu Yuan said, "Let me introduce you. This is the young master of the Black Sea Dragons. He can be considered our neighbor." The young masters of the dragons and the Mountain Sea Palace's elders were all shocked. This was an absolutely shocking status. Furthermore, their bloodline was definitely heaven-defying. It was no wonder that the demonic beasts they had subdued were so terrified. This was the suppression of the dragon's bloodline. The Mountain Sea Palace held a welcoming banquet for Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon. After Xiao Xiu received the news, she rushed over as well. When she saw Lin Xian, her eyes turned red. "Why didn't you come to see me for so long? Did you forget about me?" Lin Xian said with a smile. "How could that be? Didn't I come back?" The toad at the side revealed a strange expression. "Not back. Another one is here. Go away." Lin Xian kicked the toad away. After that, Lin Xian accompanied Xiao Xiu in the Mountain Sea Palace for a few days. Finally, he went to the Xiao clan. Then, he went to the Desolate clan to pay his respects to the Xiao clan's patriarch, Xiao Mu. Then, he left the Mountain Sea Palace and headed to the Black Sea with the dark red divine dragon and the toad. The entire buried Emperor Star was divided into 4 seas and 8 desolates. The Black Sea was one of them, and it could be said to be the largest one. The Black Sea was boundless, and there were too many demon beasts hidden in it. The Black Sea Dragons. They were one of them, and they were equivalent to supreme overlords. The group of people shuttled through the bottom of the sea. With the experts of the dragon race opening the way, a dragon that was tens of thousands of meters long in its true form roared. The surrounding sea demons all prostrated themselves, and no one dared to go forward. "All right, ruffian dragon, you can speak now, right? The dark red divine dragon said that he invited you here because he wanted to borrow something from you. Kid, how many eyes of time are left?" There are 4 left. What's wrong? Lin Xian sighed. You can't be thinking of using the Eyes of Time, right? Although it's very miraculous, it's probably useless at our realm. We can only blame ourselves for killing that Serpent of Time back then. Otherwise, if he had grown to the Sage realm, the Eyes of Time would have been more useful to us. Lin Xian had used the Eyes of Time to recover before, and the effects were very good. However, at that time, he was only a king. He wasn't even a sage. Now, he had already reached the Sage realm. The difference between the two of them was too great. The Eyes of Time weren't that useful anymore. Otherwise, he would have taken them out to Xia Juyo long ago. However, Xia Juyo's realm surpassed that of the Great Sage. The Eyes of Time probably wouldn't be of any use. Unless he reached the level of the Great Sage, the Eyes of Time wouldn't work. However, those things no longer existed in the ancient era. I know that too. However, there's still a trace of hope. At the very least, we have to know who the murderer is. Following that, the dark red divine dragon explained in detail. After hearing it, Lin Xian understood. The dark red divine dragon was a member of the divine dragon race. His status was very special and very rare. Although he wasn't a member of the nest of 10,000 dragons or the monarch race, his status was extraordinary among the dragon race. The dark red divine dragon's father had come from the Black Sea and gone to other worlds. Now that the dark red divine dragon had come to the buried Emperor Star, he had been sensed by the dragons of the Black Sea. When they sensed the divine dragon's bloodline, they immediately brought the dark red divine dragon back. Furthermore, they conferred him the title of Young Master of the Dragons. All of this was originally very good. However, the current dragons were surging with undercurrents. It was all because of the nest of 10,000 dragons. The nest of 10,000 dragons was an existence that had produced great emperors among the dragons. Especially since the other party had left behind an emperor who had awakened a few years ago. Now, he had grown to an unimaginable level. The goal of this emperor was definitely to become the Dragon Emperor and unify the dragons of the myriad worlds. The Black Sea dragons were very strong. Naturally, they were targeted by the nest of 10,000 dragons. Originally, the people of the Black Sea dragon tribe were not afraid because they had a top genius, who was the dark red divine dragon's young master, Long Guang. He was very terrifying. However, he had fallen in Holy Abyss Ancient City. This caused the Black Sea dragons to go crazy. They sent countless experts to investigate, but in the end, they still didn't know who had done it. They had suspected a few people, but there was no evidence. This matter was left unsettled. However, the Black Sea dragons had never given up. After the dark red divine dragon arrived and learned of this matter, he thought of Lin Xian. He wanted to see if he could use the Eye of Time. At the very least, he would be able to obtain some clues. Chapter 47-44. The group traveled very quickly. 10 days later, they slowed down. Endless rays of light appeared in front of them, and a dragon palace appeared at the bottom of the sea. What a terrifying aura! Lin Xian was surprised. He could feel that the great dragon sword soul in his body had become excited and was letting out dragon roars. We're here. Let's go. Treat this place as your own home. Don't stand on ceremony with me. The dark red dragon waved his hand. Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked over. Whitey also jumped out and said, "Ruffian dragon, do you have any delicious food?" The dark red dragon said, "I have enough top-grade spirit fruits." "That's good." Whitey's big eyes narrowed into crescents. The guards at the front walked over. "Greetings, young master." They were extremely respectful. "Open the array." The dark red dragon waved his hand and said. The guards formed hand seals and opened the array. The group walked in. When Lin Xian walked over, they were extremely curious. Why did the young master invite a human over? And they seemed to be on good terms? They carefully sensed. Then, when Lin Xian walked past them, their bodies trembled. A hint of fear appeared in their eyes. Damn it, what's going on? There's an aura on him that's suppressing their dragon blood. That's impossible. Only the young master can do that. The young master's bloodline is very terrifying. How can this human have such a terrifying aura of the path of dragon? They did not know that it was the power of the great dragon sword soul. However, they became extremely respectful to Lin Xian. This was the respect for a powerhouse. Dragons lived in the Dragon Palace. Apart from that, some of the guards were powerhouses of the dragons, and some were other sea demons, such as shrimp soldiers, crab generals, and all kinds of fish. These people were all very powerful, and they had submitted to the dragons for generations. The surrounding buildings were even more peculiar. They had a unique style of the sea. The dark red dragon shuttled all the way. After entering, he transformed into his true form and moved very quickly. At the same time, he shouted, "Old men, come out. I've brought the human back." In the distance, some old figures walked out of the palaces and pavilions in the sea. The aura of the path of dragon on these people was very terrifying. Clearly, they were on the level of the great sage. With a single step, they arrived beside him. After greeting the young master, they first bowed to the dark red dragon and then looked at Lin Xian. "This must be the friend you were talking about." After greeting the seniors, Lin Xian didn't dare to be arrogant. These were all great sage experts of the dragons. He bowed to the elders. "Young man, you don't have to be so courteous. If you are a friend of the young master, then you are a friend of the dragons of the Black Sea." The great sage looked at Lin Xian and nodded slightly. Suddenly, they froze, their expressions shocked. From Lin Xian's body, they could sense an extremely powerful aura of the Tao of Dragon. What was going on? They were stunned. "You're one of the dragons?" Lin Xian shook his head. Another dragon elder asked, "Then, have you consumed dragon blood before? Or have you cultivated the theurgy of dragons?" Lin Xian shook his head again. The dark red dragon said, "Stop guessing. He's the successor of the great dragon." "Kid, these people are very reliable." Since the dark red dragon said so, Lin Xian didn't hide it. He waved his hand, and the great dragon sword circled around him. A terrifying dragon chi swept across the 9 heavens. The surrounding elders of the dragons of the Black Sea were shocked. The legendary great dragon sword was actually obtained by a human? No wonder it had such an aura. This pressure wasn't weaker than the young master's bloodline. The elders were extremely shocked. After Lin Xian retracted it, he said, "Senior, do you want to borrow my Eye of Time?" As he spoke, he waved his hand and took out an Eye of Time from his storage ring. A mysterious power bloomed. When the surrounding people sensed it, they sucked in a breath of cold air. The power of time had always been mysterious. Lin Xian sighed. "To tell you the truth, I obtained this Eye of Time many years ago. At that time, the Serpent of Time that I killed was only at the king level, so the effect of the Eye of Time was limited. I hope that the elders can be mentally prepared." A great sage sighed. "This matter has happened for several years, and we have long accepted it. Long Guang's soul was destroyed, and not even a remnant soul was left. There was no hope of resurrection. We just want to find clues to the murderer and avenge Long Guang. Then there's no time to lose. Let's start. Little friend, this way please." The group walked in. The other dragon generals were guarding outside. After entering a great hall, the supreme elders of the dragons formed hand seals and tore open a crack. Then, a strange space appeared. "This is?" Lin Xian was surprised. What a terrifying method. The great elder said that this is the place where Long Guang died. We sealed it and brought it back. The space wasn't big, with a radius of 10,000 miles. It had the aura of the dragons. Obviously, the experts of the dragon clan had died here. After Lin Xian walked in, the dark red divine dragon and the elders of the dragons also walked in. They took out the Eye of Time, activated a spell, and placed it in the void. Immediately, the surrounding sky and earth spun, and time flowed backward. A mysterious aura filled the air. Gradually, an image appeared between heaven and earth. The originally shattered blood mist gradually condensed, forming a shadow. It was very blurry, but the elders of the dragons cried out in surprise. The great elder's pupils constricted. It was Long Guang. It was really useful. They were shocked. Time seemed to have flowed backward. The scenes of what happened to Long Guang appeared again, but the voice was a little blurry. Lin Xian was also surprised. He discovered that Long Guang had been tricked here. Then, several experts appeared in the surroundings and sealed the entire world. Then, a figure descended. Those people attacked together and killed Long Guang. Damn it! Who was it? The powerhouses of the dragons gritted their teeth and roared. Their eyes were red. The dark red divine dragon also frowned. I can't see clearly. Kid, can you see clearly? Lin Xian said, I'll give it a try. He took out another eye of time and activated it with all his might. Immediately, the power of time flowed out. Lin Xian said, I can't make everyone appear, but I can make one of them appear. The great elder pointed at a figure opposite Long Guang and said, it should be him. He should be the leader. Try your best to restore his appearance. Lin Xian said, I got it. He controlled the power of the two eyes of time and enveloped that figure. That figure gradually became clear, and everything else became blurry. It was a handsome man with outstanding facial features. Dragon energy surrounded his body. It could crush the heavens. He was like the supreme dragon emperor, so powerful that people looked up to him. Who was this person? What a terrifying bloodline of the dragons. Lin Xian was shocked. Even though it was just a scene of time, he still felt a chill down his spine. Chapter 47-45. Who was this person? Lin Xian was surprised. Did the dragons know him? The great elder gritted his teeth. He was Long Wu from the nest of 10,000 dragons. He was also the son of the dragon emperor. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air when he heard this. The son of the great emperor? Was he an emperor? It was too unbelievable. No wonder he was shocked by this scene. The other elders also roared. It was indeed the nest of 10,000 dragons. Damn it, they would definitely not let them off. The power of the Eye of Time disappeared and the two eyes shattered. The scene slowly dissipated, but they already knew who the culprit was. A few elders of the dragons rushed over and roared at the sky, commanding the dragons. At this moment, the dragons of the Black Sea were alarmed. What caused such a change? One figure after another rushed over. They all asked, was a strong enemy coming? Those elders gritted their teeth. At this moment, they wanted to gather the 10,000 dragons and kill the nest of 10,000 dragons. However, the dark red divine dragon flew over and said, Old men, I advise you to calm down. The nest of 10,000 dragons is stronger than us. They have an extreme Tao Emperor weapon and are more terrifying than us. If you act rashly, it is very likely that the dragons of the Black Sea will be destroyed. Is this what you want to see? As the dark red divine dragon's voice sounded, the eyes of those elders gradually returned to normal. Damn it. An elder stood out and said, if there's nothing else, you can all go back. The surrounding dragons left. A few core elders gritted their teeth. Were they not going to take revenge? Revenge. Of course they had to take revenge. But now was not the time for a decisive battle. Since I am the young master of the Black Sea Dragons, this grudge is also mine. I will go to Saint Distant Ancient City and kill that guy. No, the young master is too dangerous. The great elder shook his head. They had already lost a young master. If another one died, the loss would be too great. After all, there were too few bloodlines like the dark red divine dragon. Don't worry, I am not alone. This kid will go with me, especially since this kid has the great dragon sword soul. He can be considered half a dragon. If the two of us join forces, I don't believe that we can't take him down. Young master, it's not that I don't trust you, but the gap between us is just too big. He was an imperial prince with an extraordinary bloodline. He was a saint when he was born, and now he was already standing at the peak of the Saint King realm. He would soon become a great sage. Moreover, it was said that his battle prowess was no weaker than the great sages. Furthermore, he had already ascended to the 90th level of the Sacred Gulf Tower and would soon be crowned the champion. Such a character was simply undefeatable. We don't stand a chance in a one-on-one battle, and if you want to attack him, that's even more impossible. He has even more experts of the Tao of Dragon by his side. Unless we use the power of our entire clan, we won't stand a chance. Was that guy really that terrifying? The dark red dragon gasped. Lin Xian was also surprised. Although there were many words in it, he did not understand what they meant. However, Prince Guang's identity was different. He knew that this Long Wu was extremely powerful. Most likely, he was even more talented than Leaf Doudenier, Light, and the others. Moreover, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had been revived from the true spirit world. It had only been a few years, and the other party was already close to becoming the great sage. This speed far surpassed theirs. One had to know that Lin Xian's cultivation speed was already heaven-defying. How many inheritance treasures did he have? Yet he still couldn't compare to the prince. The prince's identity was too terrifying. The dark red dragon took a deep breath. Although that guy is terrifying, I won't give up so easily. Besides, even if you really want to attack the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, you have to be sufficiently prepared. I'll go to Holy Abyss City first and meet that guy to buy time for you. It won't be too late to make a move when you're fully prepared. Lin Xian also said, I'll go too. I haven't seen the real prince yet. One day, I'll fight him. Indeed, if he wanted to become a great emperor, Lin Xian would definitely clash with him on his emperor's road. Besides, the other party was the dark red dragon's enemy, which made him his enemy. The great elder and the others still disagreed. The dark red dragon argued for a long time before they agreed. You can go to Holy Abyss City, but you have to be careful. Don't rashly attack him. Give us some time. We'll definitely not let him off. Next, Lin Xian and the others went back to rest. After the dark red dragon arrived, Lin Xian asked, How much do you know about that guy? Tell me. The dark red dragon said, I don't know either. I only know that he has only been awake for a few years, but he's already so terrifying. His bloodline power is probably beyond our imagination, or even beyond our understanding. If you meet him, you have to be careful. Who knows, he might snatch your great dragon sword soul. Lin Xian said, I'll fight him sooner or later. No matter if we have grudges or not, we'll meet in the battle for the Emperor's Road. However, he frowned and said, I don't understand some of the things you said before. What does Holy Abyss Tower mean? What does it mean to be crowned? What does it mean to be crowned? Let me tell you. The dark red dragon sat down and drank spiritual wine while eating barbecued meat. Then he told Lin Xian. Lin Xian was shocked when he heard that. Holy Abyss Ancient City was also an ancient city. In fact, it was even more terrifying than Taiching Ancient City. There were even more ancient families and peerless sections. There was also a divine object in Holy Abyss Ancient City called the Holy Abyss Tower. It had been passed down since ancient times. No one knew who created it, but it was very mysterious. It was said that Holy Abyss Ancient City was named after it. This was somewhat similar to Qiankuan Ancient City. Qiankuan Ancient City was related to the Qiankuan Emperor, and Holy Abyss Ancient City was related to the Holy Abyss Tower. Lin Xian guessed that it was very likely to be related to the ancient emperors. The Holy Abyss Tower was a trial and cultivation place. After entering, one would undergo trials and challenges. If one succeeded, they would obtain heaven-defying opportunities to increase their cultivation strength. There were a total of 99 floors in the Holy Abyss Tower. The difficulty increased with each floor. Even a top expert would probably only be able to climb a few dozen floors. Once one completed all 99 floors, they would be crowned and become crowned. This was a supreme honor. In history, anyone who passed through 99 floors and became crowned crowns could be said to be the top geniuses of the current era. In the future, they would also become a heaven-defying expert, sweeping through a region and being recorded in history. This was equivalent to the supreme honor and confirmation of one's talent. After hearing this, the toad was also surprised. Was there a double crown champion? A triple crown champion? The dark red dragon nodded. Don't tell me there is. What was going on? Lin Xian was also surprised. Was a triple crown champion successfully reaching the top 3 times? The dark red dragon nodded. That's right, it was successfully reaching the top 3 times. However, it wasn't the 3 times that you imagined. After successfully reaching the top and becoming a triple crown champion for the first time, entering again would be 10 times more difficult than before. If one could still reach the top like this, it would be a double crown champion. After entering the double crown champion, the difficulty would increase by 20 times. Reaching the top again would be a triple crown champion. Chapter 47-46. Then, has anyone ever broken through to the first crown? How many crowns were there? In history, there were indeed people who broke through to the first crown, double crown, or even triple crown. Of course, the highest was the last great emperor from 40,000 years ago, Emperor Qin. He was the 10-crown king. 10-crown king. Lin Xian gasped. Didn't that mean that the other party had entered 10 times and successfully reached the top? The last time was 100 times more difficult. No wonder this person could become a great emperor. Yes, it was heaven-defying. After him, there hadn't been a great emperor for 30,000 years. What level had Martial Dragon reached? Lin Xian asked. The dark red dragon thought for a moment and said. He had checked before and it was said that he had already reached the 90th floor. It was only a matter of time before he became the first crown king. And from the looks of it, he should be able to reach it soon. As for how many crowns he could become in the end, it was hard to say. The toad exclaimed. Such a person should be unrivaled in the world. However, the dark red dragon shook his head. No, he had an opponent. There was even someone whose current record was better than his. What? That was impossible. Someone had surpassed the emperor. The toad was surprised. Even Lin Xian was curious. Who was it? Darknorth. He had already reached the 95th floor. His identity was also extraordinary. He was Kunpeng Zi. He was the emperor's son of the great emperor of the Kunpeng race. Another emperor's son. Lin Xian was shocked. Holy Abyss Ancient City was too extraordinary. One had to know that the strongest in Taiching Ancient City was only the ancient desolate body. But there were 2 emperors in Holy Abyss Ancient City. This Kunpeng Zi was very strong, and he had awakened earlier than Martial Dragon, so he was stronger now. Everyone guessed that he might be the first to be crowned and become the first king in this generation. Speaking of which, we suspected 2 people of Long Guang's death. One was Kunpeng Zi, Dark North. The other was the Dragon Prince, Martial Dragon. Because only these 2 people could threaten and kill Long Guang. What was Long Guang's strength before? Lin Xian asked. His cultivation was at the Saint King realm, and his battle record had already reached the 93rd floor of the Saint Origin Tower. If he didn't die, he would also become a champion. So powerful. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. No wonder those elders were so angry. He was indeed a top-notch genius. It was a pity that he had fallen. Kid, are you interested in going to the Holy Abyss Ancient City? When the time comes, we'll see just how magical this sacred abyss tower is. Lin Xian said. Of course he was interested. His eyes shone with a cold light. What kind of scene would it be to compete with the Crown Prince? These people are all in different sections. I wonder which sect you would like to join when the time comes? A sect? Aren't they all from the desolate ancient emperor clan? Lin Xian was shocked. Within the Holy Abyss Ancient City, there were 3 ancient orthodoxies that had been passed down for a very long time. They were the Tao sect, Heaven sect, and Earth sect. The Dragon Prince was from the Path sect. Kunpeng Zi had joined the Sky sect. After entering these 3 ancient orthodoxies, one would be able to obtain powerful resources. Moreover, these 3 orthodoxies had close ties with the desolate ancient families and the great sections. There were many experts in these orthodoxies. They were all disciples of the great sects and the desolate ancient families. They were all geniuses among geniuses. In fact, they could even create their own sects and forces. Among them, the force that the Dragon Prince had created in the Path sect was the Dragon Palace. Lin Xian's eyes lit up when he heard that. How could there be such a thing? He thought about it and said, since our target is the Dragon Prince, we should join the Path sect. Alright, that's what I think too. The dark red divine dragon nodded and said, after resting for half a month, we'll set off. They were very close to the Path sect's recruitment test this time. Every year, there would be a successful test in the 3 orthodoxies. Those who passed would be able to enter and cultivate as disciples of the orthodoxies. Those who failed would have to wait a year and could only participate again in the third year. Ordinary geniuses were not qualified to enter at all. Only the top geniuses and experts could enter the three orthodoxies. Since the decision had been made, Lin Xian and the other two began to cultivate at the bottom of the sea. On this day, the great elder found the dark red divine dragon and Lin Xian and said, "Since you want to join the Path sect, we'll give you an opportunity to increase your strength, especially your Tao of Dragons. Young master, you might be able to improve your bloodline power." Then, the great elder looked at Lin Xian and said, "Young friend, although you're a human, you still have the dragon sword soul. And it seems that you've merged with the dragon sword soul. This means that you have the dragon soul. You're half a dragon. This opportunity will be beneficial to you." "Thank you." Lin Xian was overjoyed. The opportunity that the Black Sea Dragons mentioned was definitely not bad. The great elder said, "Young friend, you don't have to thank us. We should be the ones thanking you. If it weren't for you, we would never have known who the murderer was. This time, take it as us repaying our young friend's kindness." The toad also wanted to go, but he wasn't a dragon at all and didn't have the Tao of Dragon's aura, so he couldn't go at all. After that, he and Little White stayed here. The dragon tribe also provided them with many heavenly treasures. The two of them ate to their heart's content and forgot about the matter of fortuitous opportunities. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon followed the great elder and walked forward. Soon, the surrounding figures became fewer and fewer. This seemed to be a forbidden area where no one could come. The dark red divine dragon said, "Damn, old man, you're not taking us to that place, are you?" Now, the dark red divine dragon had already guessed where they were going. The great elder said, "That's right. This time, that place is opened. You have 10 days inside. Whether you can get anything after 10 days depends on your luck." "What is this place?" Lin Xian was curious. The dark red divine dragon said, "Dragon Tomb." The Dragon Tomb was the place where the dragons of the Black Sea were buried for generations. This was a forbidden area. Under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be opened. Only extremely terrifying dragon clan powerhouses could be buried here after their deaths. This was also a supreme honor. At this moment, Lin Xian and the toad entered the Dragon Tomb. In front of them, there were millions of dragons carved into a stone tablet standing there. It was like the hand of a god guarding the Dragon Tomb. The aura on it was really too strong. The great elder held the dragon court walking stick in his hand to block this aura. The surrounding array formation flickered. The great elder stood in front and said, "I'm going to open the Dragon Tomb. You can temper your Tao of Dragon's aura and even strengthen your Tao of Dragon's bloodline or physique. It's up to you what you choose." As he spoke, the dragon thunder staff in his hand bloomed with light. Endless array formations condensed and swept towards the million dragon steel in front of them. The million dragon steel bloomed with light, and the door of the Dragon Tomb slowly opened. Chapter 47-47. The Dragon Tomb is open. You can enter now. Hearing this, Lin Xian and the dark red dragon took a deep breath and quickly walked in. The aura inside was very terrifying. There were dragon shadows in front, and the door to the Dragon Tomb was closed. The light dimmed. "Kid, let's each go in a direction." "I'll go this way." The dark red dragon waved and walked to one side. Lin Xian walked to the other side. The dragon roar in front of him sounded, and in the next moment, a golden light flashed. A golden dragon appeared between heaven and earth. Its body was tens of thousands of miles long, as if it was a real dragon. However, Lin Xian knew that it was just an illusion, because these dragons were all dead. In addition to the golden dragon, there was also a purple dragon, a dragon with 8 arms, and a sword dragon surrounded by sword chi. There were all kinds of dragons here. Lin Xian summoned the great dragon sword soul and merged with him. The great dragon sword soul formed a dragon shadow outside him. At the same time, he circulated the dragon's breathing technique. He felt the terrifying killing intent around him disappear. Although it was very stressful, it wouldn't take his life. He began to feel the aura of the dragon. Lin Xian took a deep breath. At this moment, he forgot that he was a human. It was as if he had become a dragon. He saw his body grow bigger, turning into 1,000 meters long. His body bloomed with bright golden light. He formed a golden dragon, baring his fangs and brandishing his claws. This feeling was truly too wondrous. The great dragon sword soul also let out a series of roars. Lin Xian walked, passing by dragon shadows. The deeper he went, the more terrifying the aura of the dragon became. There was a Tyrannosaurus Rex in front of him, standing between heaven and earth. Just its aura made Lin Xian unable to move forward. Lin Xian changed direction and continued to walk. However, there was a sword dragon in front of him that swept across heaven and earth. The terrifying sword chi made his hair stand on end. These Dragon Clan powerhouses must have been unparalleled heroes who swept through the world in the past. Now that he was dead, he still had such power. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged and started to absorb the Tao of Dragon Aura. Gradually, he realized that his fusion with the Great Dragon Sword Soul had become even more perfect. It was as if the Great Dragon Sword Soul had become a part of his soul. This feeling could reduce the consumption of his Great Dragon Sword Soul. At the same time, he made another shocking discovery, and that was his bloodline. Lin Xian himself didn't have any amazing bloodline. However, after growing to this point, coupled with the fact that he cultivated the super physique, the 9-yang divine body. Therefore, his bloodline had long since contained boundless power. A single drop of golden saint blood could crush mountains and rivers. This type of bloodline was an exceptional bloodline, and it could already be passed down. However, this was not Lin Xian's ultimate bloodline. At this moment, in the Dragon Tomb, his bloodline had undergone some changes. In addition to the power of the 9 Suns' divine blood, there was also the blood of dragons condensing inside. One had to know that the bloodline of dragons was unique to dragons. It was passed down from generation to generation. It was basically impossible for others to condense the bloodline of dragons. No matter how much dragon blood one swallowed, this bloodline couldn't be passed down. But now, Lin Xian's situation was different. He seemed to have really condensed the bloodline of dragons. No one would believe that a human could condense the bloodline of dragons. However, Lin Xian's situation was different. He had the Great Dragon Sword Soul and had even fused with it. In addition, there were so many terrifying auras here, so it wasn't impossible for such a bloodline to be born. Moreover, it seemed to be more than one type of dragon bloodline. It seemed to be the bloodline of 10,000 dragons. Lin Xian's body bloomed with endless light. The Great Dragon Sword Soul fused with him and let out a dragon's roar. Lin Xian's dragon's breathing technique caused him to completely transform into a god at this moment. The light on his body bloomed, and the illusions of the dragons around him all flew into his body and fused with it. On the other side, the dark red divine dragon also underwent a bloodline evolution. He was a member of the Divine Dragon Clan. Endless dragon aura surrounded him, causing his divine dragon bloodline to improve further. 10 days passed quickly. A low voice came from the dragon's tomb, and then it slowly opened. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon felt a force of rejection. They knew that they couldn't stay any longer. Lin Xian looked at the dragons around him and bowed deeply, thanking the dragons for giving him strength. The dragons of the Black Sea will always be my friends. In the future, if I'm lucky enough to reach the Emperor realm, I can protect the dragons of the Black Sea and be the overlords for 10,000 years. As Lin Xian's voice fell, the illusions of the dragons around him let out a loud roar. The 9 heavens and earth shook. Outside, the first elder and the others were waiting nervously. Suddenly, a dragon's roar came from the dragon's tomb, causing their blood to boil. What happened inside? Could there be an accident? They were extremely worried. After all, there was a human who went in this time. But fortunately, they soon saw Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon coming out safely. These people heaved a sigh of relief. The dragon's tomb in front of them slowly closed, and once again fell into silence and deep sleep. What happened before? The second elder asked. The third elder also asked. How was it? Did the young master's strength increase? The dark red divine dragon said. He sensed it. Speaking. He activated the power of his bloodline, and the dragon aura on his body swept across the 9 heavens. There were illusions of divine dragons circling between heaven and earth. Great, he had indeed become stronger. Now, his bloodline was no longer weaker than Longguang's. They were really happy. Now, the only difference between the dark red divine dragon and Longguang was the time of cultivation and the difference in cultivation level. In other words, if the dark red divine dragon had enough time, he would definitely be able to reach Longguang's level in the future. He could even grow infinitely. Then, they looked at Lin Xian with anticipation in their eyes. They wondered if this human had made any breakthroughs. The sound from before was caused by me because I promised those dragons that in the future, I would reach the Emperor realm. I would also let the Black Sea dragons stand at the peak of the universe. This was a promise. After all, the dragon's tomb was a forbidden area for dragons. Other than the previous patriarchs and young patriarchs who could enter, no one else could. If one wanted to enter, they could only do so after death. Now, Lin Xian could actually enter as a human. This was simply a peerless gift from the dragons. The people of the dragons naturally knew that Lin Xian's strength and talent were unparalleled. They were also betting on his future. It was just that they didn't know if he could become a great emperor. However, when a 9-yang divine body grew up, it could sweep through everything. However, when they saw the scene displayed by Lin Xian, these dragons were really stunned. Chapter 47-48. Behind Lin Xian, dragon shadows appeared one after another. There were golden dragons, Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and other dragon shadows roaring. That aura was extremely terrifying and mysterious. What was going on? The elders of the dragons were all stunned. The dark red divine dragon also said, "Kid, you didn't swallow them all, did you?" Lin Xian said, "I didn't, I seem to have condensed the bloodline of the dragons." "Let me see." The great elder walked over, grabbed Lin Xian's wrist, and carefully sensed it. Then he said, "Can I see your blood?" Lin Xian nodded, cut his palm, and a few drops of his blood dripped down. On the golden blood, there were dragon shadows wrapped around it, and it let out a dragon roar. There really was the power of the dragons in it. You actually condensed the bloodline of the dragons. The great elder was surprised. The powerhouses of the dragons were all stunned. How heaven-defying was this? The other party was just a human. The dark red divine dragon also came over and carefully examined it. Then he said, "It should be because of the great dragon sword soul. Kid, you really have completely fused with the great dragon sword soul this time." "Good," the great elder said with a smile. "Little friend, you will also belong to us dragons in the future. I will confer you the title of Young Master of the Dragons, and you will have the treatment of an elder." "Thank you, Senior." Lin Xian cupped his fists and smiled. With the dark red divine dragon, Lin Xian, the people of the Black Sea dragons seemed to have seen hope. After returning, in the hall, the toad and little white were sleeping there, and their bodies were emitting countless rays of light. These two guys had eaten so many heavenly treasures that they were about to vomit. "Get up, we should go." The dark red divine dragon went over and kicked the two of them awake. "Don't disturb my sleep." Little White was very dissatisfied. The toad also said, "The two of you are back." As he said that, he kept emitting rays of light. "Damn, why didn't the two of you eat to death?" The dark red divine dragon had a look of disdain. "Look, my bloodline has increased." He released his dragon's bloodline, and the toad felt his hair stand on end. He then looked at Lin Xian and said, "Kid, what about you?" Lin Xian smiled. "Try sensing it." He unleashed his bloodline power, and tens of thousands of dragon shadows floated around him. "What the fuck you? What's wrong with you?" The toad was stunned. Little White had also woken up. She blinked her large eyes and said, "I think I saw many dragons." Lin Xian said with a smile, "This is my newly condensed dragon's bloodline. In addition to my 9-yang divine body, my current bloodline is called 10,000 dragon divine blood. How hateful! I want to go in too. I also want to condense the 10,000 dragon blood." The toad roared. Lin Xian gave him a slap and stepped aside. The dark red dragon laughed. "You're just a toad. You don't have the right to enter the dragon tomb of us dragons. Alright, get ready. We're leaving in 3 days. Our target is Holy Abyss City. This time, we're going to conquer it. 3 days later, the first elder and the others led them to activate the super teleportation formation and tore open the endless void. They started the teleportation. They were close to Shanghai City, but they were far from Holy Abyss City. Therefore, it would take them a long time to fly over. Perhaps they would miss this year's test. They directly used many resources to activate long-distance teleportation. When they came out again, they had already left the Black Sea and arrived in the vast mountains. They took out a map, asked for directions, and set off on the Black Earth. This way, they could shorten the time by several times. Holy Abyss City was very ancient and mysterious. It was even more terrifying than Taiching Ancient City. There were countless powerful families and sects here. However, there were 3 places that were incomparably dazzling. They were the Taoist sect, the Celestial sect, and the Terrestrial sect. The 3 great orthodoxies gathered all the powerful people in the world. The people who walked out from here. They were existences that could sweep the world. This time, Holy Abyss City became incomparably lively because 2 things were going to happen. The first thing was that the Taoist sect was about to take the test. Countless geniuses who wanted to participate had to come for the test. If they missed this time, they would have to wait another year. The second thing was even more shocking. Someone was going to be crowned as the Crown King. This was an earth-shattering event that would be recorded in history and looked up to by thousands of generations. When Lin Xian and the others arrived at Holy Abyss City, they looked at the huge city in front of them and felt emotional. Indeed, this scene was even more majestic than Taiching Ancient City. The dark red dragon frowned. That's not right. What's going on this year? Why are there so many people? It's a few hundred times more than before. Moreover, some people were not even qualified to take the test. Indeed, Lin Xian was also puzzled. According to the dark red dragon, the people that the 3 great orthodoxies wanted to recruit were the best of the best. However, the people around them were not weak. They just did not meet the requirements. Toad stopped someone and said, "Brother, I don't know what's going on here. Are the 3 great orthodoxies recruiting? Damn, where did this monster come from? He scared me to death." A fatty exclaimed. He said, "You guys want to enter the 3 great orthodoxies? What a joke." Toad was enraged. "How dare you look down on me? Watch out for my divine toad fist. How dare a puny demon be so arrogant in front of me?" That fatty was also enraged. In an instant, they displayed their powerful strength. They even took out dozens of weapons and charged at Yi Shiwen from all directions. "I'm not strong, but I'm rich. What's wrong with my sacred weapons?" Those sacred weapons were indeed terrifying. However, Toad had eaten too many treasures recently and his strength had increased tremendously. He dodged all the attacks, charged in front of the fatty, and beat him into a pig head. "Brother, I was wrong. I'll change. Please don't hit me." The fatty immediately begged for mercy. He did not expect that Toad would be so terrifying. "That's it. Tell me, why are there so many people?" Toad stepped on the fatty and asked coldly, "Brother, which mountain did you guys come from? How can you not know about such a big thing?" The fatty was shocked. "Someone is going to be crowned as the Crown King." "What?" Toad jumped up. The dark red divine dragon was also shocked. Even Lin Xian's eyes shone with a sharp light. He had heard from the dark red divine dragon before. Does this mean that someone has reached the top of the sacred abyss tower? The dark red divine dragon asked. "Who is it? Is it Dark North or Longwu?" The fatty's scalp went numb. "Are those 2 people's names for you to call?" He did not dare to call them by their names. Instead, he said it was Kunpeng Zi. 6 days ago, he successfully reached the top and stood at the peak of the sacred abyss tower. The heavenly sect wanted to crown him as the Crown King. His statue and name would be engraved on the sacred abyss tower forever. He would be worshipped by future generations. Sure enough, it's this Kunpeng Zi. The dark red divine dragon took a deep breath. Previously, the other party had already reached the 90th floor and finally reached the 99th floor. It seemed that the Dragon Prince would be there soon. Chapter 47-49. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. He had heard the dark red divine dragon mention it before. It was about the two of them. He didn't expect that now. They had just arrived at Holy Abyss Ancient City. They heard about Kunpeng Zi reaching the top. As expected of the emperor, he was really too strong. In half a month, the ceremony would be held. Countless people were about to witness a miracle. Do you want to go and take a look? Half a month? Of course. Based on their current time, they could finish watching this grand event first, then participate in the Dao School's assessment. There was still half a month left. Lin Xian and the others could take a good look at Holy Abyss Ancient City. Brother, why don't we go together? I've been to this ancient city several times. The fatty looked at Lin Xian and smiled. The toad and the dark red divine dragon seemed to be beasts. Only the kid in front of him was human, which made him feel close to him. This guy is so useless. We don't want him. The dark red divine dragon shook his head. The fatty's face turned green. Although he wasn't a heaven-defying genius, he was still a top-notch genius. He was actually called a piece of trash. However, he had to admit that these people were really strong and mysterious. Lin Xian smiled. Don't be so harsh. We're not familiar with this place. We need this brother to lead the way for us. The fatty's eyes lit up. Don't worry, with you guys by my side, I'll pay for all the expenses in the ancient city. Then we won't stand on ceremony. The dark red divine dragon smiled and the toad nodded. I don't know. What are the specialties of Holy Abyss Ancient City? Are there any old herbs that are tens of thousands of years old? The fatty was about to cry. These ancestors are too greedy. How should I address you guys? The fatty walked up. The fatty was called Nailin Liang, a young master of the Nailin family. The Nailin family was considered a top-notch family. Although they weren't a remote antiquity family, they weren't weak. To become a remote antiquity family, apart from having super strength and background, there was another characteristic, which was that they had a long history. The Nailin family had only developed in the past few thousand years, so their background and strength weren't strong enough to become a remote antiquity family. However, the Nailin family had developed very rapidly recently. If they could continue, they would become a remote antiquity family in the future. Your name is Nailin Liang? Toad's face was filled with suspicion. This is a woman's name. Brother, you can't be a woman, right? Nailin Liang sighed. Back then, my father really wanted to have a daughter, so he had already thought of a name. Who would have thought that the one who was born would be me? They didn't change my name either. Alright, don't mind these trivial matters. Let's go, I'll bring you to the most famous place in Holy Abyss City. White Crane Tower. It was extremely majestic, and it was very famous in the Holy Origin City. Its unique architecture and style made countless people yearn for it. The White Crane Tower was made from the corpse of a great sage. This great sage was a demon sage of the White Crane clan after his death. The corpses were perfectly preserved, and they were used to create this strange pavilion. When Lin Xian and the others arrived and saw this scene, they were also amazed. The pavilion in front was very spectacular. It was very tall and could be seen at a glance. There were bones on the outside. It looked like the wings of a white crane. The design was really strange. Nailin Liang said, Brother, you don't know this. This is really the corpse of a great sage. It can't be. The dark red dragon went up to take a look and exclaimed. As expected of the Holy Origin City, it was really extravagant. Of course, ordinary people couldn't enter this place. But I can bring you in. They walked forward. Stop where you. Seeing the dark red dragon and the others walking over, the guards of the White Crane Tower immediately moved out. This wasn't a place where ordinary people could come. When they saw Lin Xian and the others, they shouted coldly. At this moment, Nailin Liang walked out from behind and said, Why, my friends can't enter? So it's young Master Nailin, please come in. The guards immediately made way. Nailin Liang brought Lin Xian and the others in. Io, isn't this the young master of the Nailin clan? Why do you still have the face to come? You have already failed twice and didn't enter the 3 great inheritances. Are you preparing for your 3rd failure now? I think the Nalan clan's face has been thrown away by you. At this moment, a cold laugh could be heard. Nalan Liang was instantly enraged and turned his head around. So it's you. Do you want to die? At the back, there were a few men in white robes with long sabers on their backs. They looked extremely cold. One look and one could tell that they were top swordsmen. Shi Changfeng, didn't you fail the last time too? What right do you have to talk about me? Shi Changfeng laughed coldly. I wasn't prepared the last time. This time, I'm fully prepared. I can definitely enter the Dao sect. Fuck, I'll definitely fail this time. Nalan Liang snorted coldly. Who doesn't know how to boast? With your strength, you think you can enter the Dao sect? Of course, because I've invited a big shot this time. Brother Lan, please come out. Shi Changfeng said respectfully to the private room at the side. A figure walked out from the private room. Fatty gritted his teeth. That was originally my room. To think that it was occupied by someone else. Who's this? Shi Changfeng laughed coldly. This was young Master Lan Song from the Blue Clan. Why aren't you kowtowing when you see young Master Lan Song? It's actually someone from the Blue Clan? Nalan Liang frowned. The toad at the side asked. Is this guy strong? He doesn't look like much. Nalan Liang sighed. The other party is from a clan of the ancients. So that's how it is. The Nalan clan is strong. However, compared to the clan of the ancients, they are still lacking. The people from the Heavenly Saber Manor shouted angrily. How dare you be so disrespectful to young Master Lan? Do you want to die? The leader, Shi Changfeng, frowned. Nalan Liang, look at these strange clothes. They don't seem to be from the Nalan clan. If they didn't have any background, they would have fallen here today. You want to fight with us? Are you worthy? The toad sneered. The dark red divine dragon also looked at the other party. They didn't care about these ants. Shi Changfeng and the others were mad with anger. These people were too audacious. Lan Song frowned and said coldly, It seems like this is your first time in the Holy Abyss ancient city. I'm afraid you haven't heard of the strength of the Blue Clan. The toad sneered. Is the clan of the ancients that amazing? It's not like we haven't fought them before. Isn't the Wind Clan also a clan of the ancients? Didn't they still get beaten down by them? What's there to be arrogant about? Are you sure you don't want to die? Lan Song's face darkened. He closed the folding fan in his hand and a murderous intent appeared. The people from the Heavenly Saber sect laughed. There's no need for Brother Lan to deal with these ants. Let's deal with them. Shi Changfeng waved his hand. Instantly, a top swordsman from the Heavenly Saber Manor walked over. Ignorant ants, I'll send you to hell today. He waved his hand and a saber light flashed. Chapter 4750. The attack was indeed powerful. It was even more powerful than some of the geniuses from the remote antiquity families in Taiching Ancient City. However, it was nothing in front of Lin Xian and the others. The toad jumped out and said, How dare you compete with me? Go to hell. He slapped out with his palm. Boom. The sound of thunder rang out. Then, a figure was sent flying, and the Tao light between heaven and earth shattered. The genius from the Heavenly Saber Mansion flew out of the White Crane Tower. Did someone make a move? The people on the other floors of the White Crane Tower were stunned. They looked over in surprise. It was the Heavenly Saber Mansion. Who did they fight with? The Nalan family? Interesting. These two forces had a grudge against each other before. Discussions broke out one after another. Obviously, someone made a move in the White Crane Tower. No one was surprised. It seemed like the martial arts in Holy Abyss Ancient City was more prosperous. They could make a move at any time. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion were stunned. They didn't expect a toad to be so powerful. At the same time, their faces darkened. The White Crane Tower was a place where countless geniuses gathered. If they lost face here, the news would spread throughout Holy Abyss Ancient City. At that time, the Heavenly Saber Mansion would become a laughingstock. Lan Song narrowed his eyes. You have some strength. No wonder you dare to fight with me. Tell me your identity. Let's see if you have the qualifications to be my opponent. Nalan Liang, who are they? Shi Changfeng also roared. Nalan Liang was also confused. To be honest, he didn't know who these people were. He only knew that they were fierce. We came from Taiching Ancient City. As for our true identity, you don't have the qualifications to know. The toad snorted. So they came from Taiching Ancient City. The surrounding people were shocked. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion frowned. Lan Tsang nodded. Taiching Ancient City was also an ancient city. There were countless geniuses. However, compared to Holy Abyss Ancient City, it was still lacking. So, you can show off in Taiching Ancient City. But in Holy Abyss Ancient City, even a dragon has to lie down in front of me. He flapped the folding fan in his hand with supreme confidence. Fuck you. The dark red dragon was enraged and roared. The dragon roars of the 9 heavens 10 earths rang out. Everyone's chi and blood surged, their faces filled with horror. What a powerful bloodline suppression. The faces of the people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion turned pale as they retreated a few steps. Even Lan Tsang's expression changed. The aura of the dragons? Are you one of them? That's right, I'm a member of the dragons. Didn't you say you wanted me to lie down? I want to see what qualifications you have to make me lie down in front of you. A cold, killing intent appeared in the dark red dragon's eyes. He waved his hand and slapped forward. Damn it, you dare to attack me? Lan Tsang shouted angrily. However, it was useless. The dark red divine dragon was the young master of the dragons of the Black Sea. Countless people respected him. No one dared to provoke him. The dark red divine dragon did not care about a clan of the ancients. When the Heavenly Saber Manners people saw this scene, they shouted furiously, "Quickly protect young Master Lan Tsang." The 5 figures drew their sabers and charged at the dark red dragon. Divine Dragon Finger. Transforming Heaven Palm. With one finger, the sky was destroyed. On the other side, the dragon claw turned into a sky and pressed down. These were the ultimate moves of the dragons. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion were forced back, their chi and blood surging. Shi Changfeng roared and rushed to the back of the Crimson Divine Dragon. You dare to sneak attack me? The toad roared and spat out a poisonous mist that covered the sky, enveloping Shi Changfeng. Shi Changfeng sent out a torrential saber light to defend himself. At the same time, he roared again. Some people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion came out from the other floors of the White Crane Tower. When these people saw this scene, they all drew their sabers and walked over. 10 odd people surrounded the dark red dragon. Nalan Liang sighed. Damn, there are actually so many people this time. Although Lin Xian and the others were strong, the other party had too many people. With a 10-fold difference, Nalan Liang's side would not be able to gain any advantage. Hence, he said, "Young Master Lin, why don't you leave quickly? A wise man knows better than to fight when the odds are against him." Lin Xian smiled. Why should I leave? What's the use of having so many people? They are just a bunch of ants. As he spoke, his figure flashed as he walked forward. His target was not the people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion, but Lan Tsang. Lan Tsang sneered. In his opinion, he did not need to do anything to deal with these people. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion could deal with them. But in the next moment, his vision blurred and he saw a figure appear in front of them. You are courting death. How dare you attack me? Lan Tsang was furious. He waved his fan. This attack was accompanied by a terrifying frost that froze the world. Lin Xian was instantly frozen. There were hundreds of ice crystals on his body. Seeing this, Lan Tsang sneered. An ant is an ant. How can you fight me? Before he could finish his words, he saw the hundreds of ice crystals in front of him shatter. A palm reached for his head. He quickly retreated and disappeared. However, no matter how he shuttled through the void, the palm easily grabbed his head. In the next moment, a terrifying sword chi entered his body, shattering his strength and meridians. At the same time, Lin Xian's voice rang out. "Stop. Otherwise, this young Master Lan will die." Hearing this voice, everyone was stunned. The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion turned their heads and their faces turned pale. They did not expect that there would be someone who could suppress young Master Lan Tsang. Shi Changfeng was even more furious. Kid, let go of young Master Lan Tsang quickly. Otherwise, you are dead. Lin Xian looked around and smiled faintly. Did they want to save his life? Fine. You people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion can kneel down and beg me. If I am in a good mood, I can consider letting him go. What an arrogant kid. The expressions of the surrounding people were very interesting. Those who could come here were all geniuses and experts from their families. At this moment, they were all investigating the purpose of these people. However, after looking around, they realized that there was no such person in Holy Abyss Ancient City. Indeed, they were from Taiching Ancient City. They did not know which family or sect they were from. Damn it, are you kidding me? Shi Changfeng shouted angrily. As the geniuses of the Heavenly Saber sect, how could they kneel down to others? Unwilling? The toad smiled. You were so respectful to him before. I thought he was your father. Damn toad, what did you say? The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion shouted angrily. The toad sent a slap over. What did I say? Are you not convinced? You still dare to dodge? If you continue to hide, I'll have my companions crush this fellow's head. Let's see if you can dodge or not. The face of the person from the Heavenly Saber Mansion turned black. In the next moment, he was slapped to the ground by the toad. Next, the toad and the dark red dragon attacked again. The remaining people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion were all slapped to the ground. The two of them were extremely powerful. The faces of those people were smashed. Some of their bodies were torn apart. They were seriously injured. Chapter 4751. The toad held the other party's saber and laughed. Aren't you very powerful? Are you looking down on us? Fight back. As he spoke, he slashed out again. Shi Changfeng was about to go crazy. When had he ever been suppressed like this? Damn it. He roared in anger. However, Lan Tsung roared in front of him. He could feel Lin Xian's killing intent. He didn't want to be torn apart. The people from the Sky Saber sect stopped and retreated with murderous intent. However, Lan Tsung said, All right, my friends, I was in the wrong before and offended you. This time, your anger has subsided. Can you let me go? I promise that our grudge will be written off. Written off? Lin Xian laughed after hearing this. What right do you have to say such words to me? Lan Tsung's pupils constricted. Is the other party still not willing to give up? His face was gloomy as he gritted his teeth and said, Brother, you have already offended the people from the Sky Saber Mansion. If you attack me again, you will offend our Blue Clan. There will be no place for you in the entire Holy Abyss Ancient City. Threatening me? Lin Xian sneered and waved his hand. Immediately, the bones in the other party's body cracked. Many of them were broken. Lan Tsung's face became extremely ugly. He gritted his teeth so hard that they were about to shatter. Damn it, the other party isn't afraid of my threat. Just when he thought that he was finished, a voice came from outside the White Crane Tower. Let's see who dares to make a move. Then a few figures walked in. Everyone turned their heads and realized that the auras of these people were abnormally strong, especially the leader. Big Brother Bai Zhen, save me. Lan Tsung seemed to have seen hope. The surrounding people exclaimed. Bai Zhen, he's the Dao sect's Bai Zhen. Many people sucked in a breath of cold air. Lin Xian walked over with a frown. It seemed that the people from the Dao sect had come. Bai Zhen walked over with the people from the Dao sect. He looked around and frowned slightly. Then he looked at Lin Xian and said coldly, Kid, let them go. There was a command in his words. However, to everyone's surprise, Lin Xian had no intention of letting them go. He asked coldly, Who are you? Were they from the blue race? I'm not. What right do you have to meddle in my affairs? Get lost. Lin Xian sneers. Previously, the Heavenly Saber Manor and Lan Tsung relied on their powerful identities to bully and suppress them. They even wanted them to kowtow and kneel. How could Lin Xian let these people off? Now, another person had appeared and directly ordered him to release them? Who does he think he is? Bai Zhen's face darkened. Seems like you're really ignorant. I'm from the Dao sect. Lin Xian smiled. So what if it was the Dao sect? You just came a few years earlier. Now that I'm here, I can also easily join the Dao sect. This identity doesn't scare me. Countless people were shocked. It seemed like this group of people was here to participate in the Dao sex test. Bai Zhen was taken aback. Then he smiled. It seemed that this was a top-notch genius from another place. He was very confident. However, so what if you have joined the Dao sect? I am a member of the Dao sect's Dragon Palace. In his eyes, there was a strong confidence. Some of the genius disciples in the Dao sect could form their own forces. The Dragon Palace was one of them. Moreover, it was the strongest force because the founder of the Dragon Palace was the son of the Dragon Emperor. In the Dao sect, other than the elders, who would dare to go against the Dragon Palace? That was courting death. Dragon Palace. Hearing this name, the dark red dragon's pupils constricted. A cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. It was actually related to that Long Wu. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He did not expect to meet the people from the Dragon Palace so soon. They were really arrogant. Brat, I advise you to obediently let him go. I'm not someone you can provoke. The Blue Clan is also not someone you can provoke. This Lan Song's brother is also a genius of the Dragon Palace. Therefore, the outcome of offending us will be very miserable. Is that so? If you had other identities, then I would really let him go. But the Dragon Palace? Unfortunately, I won't let him go. As for the reason, it was very simple. This guy said that he was very strong. Even if he was a dragon, he would have to lie down in front of him. Bai Zhen's expression changed. A biting cold light appeared in his eyes as he stared at Lan Song. You said that? Lan Song was about to cry. Previously, he was just making a metaphor. Who would have thought that the other party would take it seriously? Furthermore, if these words were to spread to the Dragon Palace, he would be dead for sure. Although his brother was also a member of the Dragon Palace, he couldn't save him because the founder of the Dragon Palace was a member of the dragons. What a reckless thing. Big brother Bai Zhen, I was wrong. I am willing to accept the punishment. Please save me. Bai Zhen said coldly. If he did something wrong, he would be punished by our Dragon Palace. You are not qualified. Is that so? Then what if I make a move? Lin Xian coldly snorted. With a wave of his hand, endless sword chi enveloped Lan Song. Lan Song let out a miserable scream. He wanted to escape, but his soul was instantly destroyed. Is he dead? The surrounding people were all stunned. They couldn't believe it. That was a genius of the Blue Clan. He was actually killed in one move. Was this a slap to the Blue Clan's face? Furthermore, Lan Song's brother was from the Dragon Palace. Bai Zhen was here, representing the Dragon Palace. He wanted to let him go, but the other party didn't. Was this a challenge to the Dragon Palace? Where did this fierce person come from? He was too strong. The people of the Heavenly Blade Manor were terrified. They were about to kneel down. What kind of demon king did they provoke? Many people trembled, and Bai Zhen's pupils constricted. You actually killed him? He was really angry. What, do you want to avenge him? I'll give you a chance. Lin Xian looked at Bai Zhen, his body emitting an extremely terrifying sword Dao aura. He was like a peerless sword god. Bai Zhen's face was cold. This guy was able to kill Lan Song in one move. He was very strong and he didn't even know who the other party was. Who are you? My name is Lin Xian, and I come from Taiching Ancient City. If you want revenge, then do it. Otherwise, scram. Lin Xian. Countless people were shocked as they recalled this name. Someone said, which clan of the remote antiquity? A peerless sect? It didn't seem like it. They had never heard of such a top genius. Moreover, what he used before wasn't that kind of family's ultimate technique. At this moment, someone exclaimed. I remember now. Some time ago, Taiching Ancient City could be said to be surging like a storm. The Heavenly Court appeared, and the Purple Mansion appeared. Later on, the Purple Mansion was severely damaged, and the Wind Clan was also attacked. It seemed that there was a young man called Lin Xian. They would naturally pay attention to the matters of Taiching Ancient City. After all, it was also the primeval city. It was extremely terrifying. Although it was very far from their holy abyss ancient city, the news still spread. Chapter 4752. It can't be, right? That Lin Xian is said to be very terrifying. Would he come here? It's hard to say. Discussions broke out one after another. Bai Zhen furrowed his brows and asked coldly, "You're the legendary Lin Xian?" "That's right, it's me," Lin Xian said proudly. The surrounding people were in an uproar. They all widened their eyes. It's really him. This guy had set off a storm in Grand Clarity Ancient City. What's so special about him? The people from the Heavenly Saber Mansion also felt their scalps go numb. It turned out to be such a terrifying guy. They regretted it now because they had kicked an iron plate. Bai Zhen's face was gloomy. But soon he snorted coldly. "Kid, so it's you. Do you think you can be arrogant here because you can do whatever you want in Taiching Ancient City? Let me tell you, you're too naive. This is Holy Abyss Ancient City, not a place you can imagine. Besides, if you're really that person, then you should be one of the people from the immortal graveyard that the Purple Mansion mentioned. You have no future at all. Although you're about the same as us and are all top geniuses, we can keep moving forward and reach the Great Sage or even higher realms. And you'll only be a Sage King for the rest of your life. Today is your peak. From now on, you'll be going downhill. What right do you have to compete with us?" Many people around nodded. That's right. There were two people from the immortal graveyard since ancient times. Even if they were top geniuses, they still died without a burial ground. There was nothing to look forward to from such a person. Bai Zhen naturally knew that, so he didn't care about it. He sneered. "A person like you isn't qualified to enter the Dao sect." Countless people were in an uproar. Bai Zhen said that. Could it be that this kid really has no hope? At that moment, another loud laughter rang out. "Your Dao sect doesn't want him, but our Heaven sect does." Then, a group of people walked down from the upper floor. These people were wearing cloud robes. They had an imposing appearance and were extraordinarily mighty. As they walked down, the surrounding energy of heaven and earth boiled. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. Some people exclaimed that they were from the Heaven sect. The leader was actually Ju Nemo. Even Bai Zhen frowned. This Ju Nemo wasn't simple. He was even stronger than him. However, he wasn't afraid. Snorting coldly, Bai Zhen smiled and said, "What? You want this kind of trash?" The Sky sect had truly declined. Ju Nemo Shao said, "A piece of trash? Could it set off an unparalleled storm?" Bai Zhen, don't deceive yourself and others. Although he had no future, he was still a top-notch expert. There were so many people from the Heavenly Saber Manor, yet they could not take him down. After he finished speaking, he looked at Lin Xian, his eyes shining with starlight. He smiled and said, "You can come to the Sky sect to take the test. With your strength, I guarantee that you will pass." Everyone was astonished. It seemed that the Heaven sect thought highly of this person. Lin Xian also looked at him and nodded. Junimo smiled. "Don't be in such a hurry to thank me. If you are Lin Xian, then I heard that you obtained an extremely terrifying weapon in the heavenly court called the Heaven-Swallowing Jar. Why don't you take it out and let us have a look?" It was said that the Heaven-Devouring Jar was an extreme weapon. I wonder if the rumors are true or false. As soon as these words were said, everyone exclaimed again, and their eyes turned red. The Heaven-Devouring Jar was a legendary item. Did this kid really get it? Lin Xian's face also darkened. He originally thought that the other party was sincerely helping him, but now it seemed that was not the case. The other party was only after the Heaven-Devouring Jar. Thinking of this, he said indifferently, "Looking at you, you should be a very powerful genius in the Sky sect. Thinking about it, you should have cultivated the ultimate techniques of the Sky sect. Why don't you give me a copy of your ultimate technique and let me have a look?" Jun Mo's face darkened. The people from the Sky sect snorted coldly. "How dare you? You haven't entered the Sky sect yet, and you want to see our ultimate technique?" Killing intent appeared between heaven and earth. The toad snorted coldly. "But you don't want to? Then who do you think you are? Do we know you? Why should we show you our Heaven-Devouring Jar?" The two sides confronted each other, and the faces of the people from the Sky sect turned ugly. Junimo said coldly, "Young man, I am sincerely helping you. Are you sure you want to refuse me?" Lin Xian said coldly, "Sincerely helping me? If you really wanted to help me, you wouldn't say such things. Who else told you that I wanted to join the Sky sect?" I have no interest in the Sky sect at all. This time, I am here to join the True Path sect. What did you say? Jun Mo was also angry this time, and a fierce killing intent appeared in his eyes. Was the other party looking down on the Sky sect? Damn it. The Sky sect disciples were all filled with killing intent. The surrounding people were also shocked. This Lin Xian was really too arrogant. In an instant he had offended 2 out of the 3 major orthodoxies. Did he have a way out in the future? I think he can't even enter a single orthodoxy. Someone sneered. Bai Zhen also laughed. Jun Mo, looks like this guy doesn't appreciate your kindness. But kid, since you have offended both the Sky sect and the True Path sect, let's see how you will proceed from here. Lin Xian also laughed. You think too highly of yourself. You are just a disciple of the True Path sect. Do you think you can represent the True Path sect? You can't stop me from finding the path I want. Lin Xian's eyes were filled with strong confidence. Was he being looked down on? Bai Zhen was going crazy. He was from the Dragon Palace. Who would dare to look down on him? Good kid, keep being stubborn. I want to see how you will enter the True Path sect later. Bai Zhen turned to leave, but after taking a few steps, he stopped and turned back, a cold smile on his face. Oh right, I forgot to tell you. This time, the True Path sect's assessment will be hosted by the Dragon Palace. And I am also one of the participants. When the time comes, I want to see how you will pass through my hands. After saying that, he laughed and left with his men. Stupid thing. You can go to hell if you don't want to take the path to heaven. Jun Mo also snorted and left with his people. Countless people were in an uproar. It's over. This kid is dead. This time, he had offended the Dragon Palace by offending Bai Zhen. How can this kid pass the assessment hosted by the Dragon Palace? The dark red divine dragon also frowned. The situation doesn't look good. Lin Xian laughed. Don't worry. Even heaven and earth can't stop our path, let alone a mere dragon palace. Lin Xian's voice resounded throughout the White Crane Tower. Everyone was shocked. Is this the person who has stirred up a storm in Taiching City? He is too confident. Ancestors, hurry up and leave. Nailin Liang walked over and asked Lin Xian and the rest to leave. He booked a mansion in the ancient city and apologized to everyone. It's all because of me that you have offended the Dragon Palace. I'm really sorry. Chapter 4753. You can also participate in the Earth Sect's assessment. Of course, I will compensate you for your losses. Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. It's okay, you don't have to blame yourself because we are here for the Dragon Palace. Even without you, we will fight the Dragon Palace one day. Nailin Liang was dumbfounded. Were these people really here to make fun of him? Did they know how terrifying the Dragon Palace was? The founder of the Dragon Palace was the Dragon Prince. Who could resist the son of the Dragon Emperor? Apart from the other princes, no one could. No matter how strong Lin Xian and the others were, they would not even be a match for a single finger of the Dragon Palace. Lin Xian did not explain further. He looked at the dark red divine dragon and said, "It seems that the people of the Dragon Palace are not only arrogant, they are also full of experts. We should not reveal our true identities for the time being. Otherwise, they will take action immediately. This identity is to hide that they are the dragons of the Black Sea." The dark red divine dragon nodded and said, "I understand." For the next few days, Lin Xian and the others stayed in the mansion temporarily. Nailin Liang went to the White Crane restaurant to buy many delicacies and brought them back. The few of them became familiar with each other after interacting for the past few days. Although Nailin Liang was a little timid, he was indeed a good person. Lin Xian felt that it was not bad to be friends with him. Finally, the day came. The few of them woke up early in the morning. Today was the day of the grand ceremony. Let's go and see how divine the legendary Kunping Zi is. The group left the mansion and walked towards the Holy Gulf Tower. At this moment, the Holy Gulf Tower stood above the 9 heavens. Countless people had already gathered around it. They were not ordinary people. They were all experts. Other than the Holy Gulf ancient city, there were many experts from other places in the continent. There were even many from the great sage. They wanted to witness this miracle. At the front were some disciples of the Heaven sect. Junimo and the others were also there. At this moment, they raised their heads as if they were victorious. They were too happy. This was the glory of the Heaven sect. The three great orthodoxies were allies, but there were also many conflicts between them. After all, everyone wanted to be above the other two great orthodoxies. In the past, the three great inheritances all had this type of grand occasion where someone was crowned as a king. However, in the recent 3,000 years, no one had been able to be crowned. Now, Kunpingzi had appeared and reached the peak in the shortest amount of time. These two sects were extremely excited. Everyone knew that this was only the first coronation. With Kunpingzi's strength, there would definitely be a second and third coronation. On the other side were the people from the Tao sect. They had also arrived. At this moment, the faces of the people from the Tao sect were solemn because they felt that their limelight had been stolen. The True Path sect had the most dazzling genius, the Dragon Prince. His status and bloodline were no weaker than the Kunpengs. It was just that he woke up a little later. At first, they thought that the Dragon Prince might be able to improve by leaps and bounds and be the first to be crowned. But now, it seemed that they were still one step behind him. The feeling of being suppressed by others was really too unpleasant. Opposite them were the people from the Earth sect. The people from the Earth sect were very calm. Because of this incident, they had already given up on participating and competing for the throne. It was not that the Earth sect was weak. The last coronation ceremony 3,000 years ago was the people from the Earth sect. However, this time, there were two princes from the Tao sect and the Heaven sect, so the Earth sect could not compete. Other than the people from the three great inheritances, the other ancient families and great sects had also arrived. There were many people from the Taiching ancient city, including the Light clan and the Sacred clan. The people from the Elixir Cauldron sect were also here. Even the people from the Gu clan and the Longevity Hall who were near Mount Eternal were here. The people from the Yi clan were also here. The people from the Purple Mansion were also here. These people were all here to watch the coronation ceremony. Once the princes appeared, they would stir up a storm in all directions. No one could ignore them. Lin Xian and the others were also here. They looked at the people from the Purple Mansion and the Wind clan in front of them. They kept it a secret. Now, he only wanted to join the Tao sect and compete with the Dragon Palace. It would be best if he could kill the Dragon Prince. Therefore, he did not want to be attacked by the prefect and the others. Moreover, there were too many people here. The people from the Purple Mansion were all looking at the sacred Gulf Tower in front of them. They all wanted to see the prince's glory, so no one paid attention to the crowd. Whitey held the spirit fruit and exclaimed, "Ah, there are so many people." The toad also said, "I wonder when Kunpingzi will come." When the sun hung high in the sky, a figure walked in front of the sacred Gulf Tower. It was an old man. He was the Grand Elder of the Heaven sect. At this moment he was very happy. He looked at all directions and smiled. "Thank you all for coming from all over the world to participate in this coronation ceremony. This time, Bei Ming of the Heaven sect has successfully reached the top of the sacred Gulf Tower and been crowned as the King of the Crown." After that, an expert from the sacred Gulf Tower also walked over with a crown in his hand. He released a terrifying aura. At the same time, the clouds in the sky changed. A figure like a god-fiend descended from the sky with a terrifying yin and yang aura. Everyone felt a wave of pressure, as if their blood vessels had frozen. So powerful. Is this the bloodline of the princes? It's really terrifying. Countless people were shocked. In the crowd, the dark red divine dragon's bloodline let out a low roar. Lin Xian did the same. The great dragon sword's soul seemed to want to break through the sky. However, it was suppressed by the two of them. Now was not the time to fight. Lin Xian's eyes emitted a golden light as he looked forward. The yin and yang aura was so terrifying. Is this the princes? The dark red divine dragon said that the Kunping had two forms and controlled the yin and yang laws of the world. It could be said that he was extremely powerful. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He also had the yin and yang laws, and he cultivated the Tai Chi art. He wondered how it would compare to the other party's great emperor bloodline. Lin Xian felt a hot battle intent. Next, it was the coronation. The sacred Gulf Tower's expert personally placed the crown on Bei Ming's head. On Bei Ming's back, there were black and white wings that emitted a terrifying yin and yang aura. He was like the divine king, accepting everyone's worship at this moment. At the same time, another statue appeared in the main hall of the sacred Gulf Tower. It was a statue of Bei Ming. At the same time, Bei Ming's name would be engraved on the sacred Gulf Tower. Congratulations, Kunpingzi. Congratulations, Tianzong. The surrounding clan of the ancients and great sects sent experts to congratulate them. Just the gifts alone were piled up like a mountain. At this moment, among the three great orthodoxies, Tianzong seemed to be the only one. Looking at this scene, Lin Xian clenched his fists. One day, he would also reach the top. Just as countless people were worshipping, a terrifying power suddenly erupted between heaven and earth. Immediately after, the roar of thousands of dragons was heard. Chapter 4754. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon's expressions also changed. They felt that the bloodlines in their bodies seemed to be about to erupt. It was a powerhouse of the dragons. The two of them looked at each other. To be able to make their bloodlines so uneasy, could it be? The people of the True Path sect raised their heads, and the people of the Dragon Palace exclaimed that the prince had arrived. The people of the Sky sect were also in an uproar. Dark North wore a crown on his head and looked at the sky. His black and white eyes pierced through the 9 heavens. A figure appeared from the void. He was wearing a dragon robe. His face was handsome, and there were tens of thousands of dragons floating around him. It was as if the Dragon Emperor had come out, and he was extremely powerful. Who was this? How terrifying! The people from the other cities were shocked. Why did they feel that this person's aura was not weaker than Kunpeng's at all? The people of Holy Abyss Ancient City exclaimed. It was him. The Dragon Prince had really come. Previously, they didn't see the Dragon Prince in the True Path sect and thought that he wouldn't come. Who would have thought that he would come at the last moment? Kunpengzi looked at the sky and said indifferently, "You're too late. Dark North, don't be arrogant. I was in seclusion before, so I didn't break through to the peak. I didn't expect you to beat me to it. However, I might not lose to you in a real fight. Do you dare to fight me?" The Dragon Prince snorted coldly. Tens of thousands of dragons condensed, forming a dragon spear that suppressed heaven and earth. The long spear pointed downward, and the dragon aura on his body continued to erupt. At this moment, the 9 heavens and 10 earths were collapsing. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Could it be that a war was about to break out? Was there going to be a peak battle between the two princes? This guy was too strong. The toad exclaimed. The dark red divine dragon's eyes were filled with killing intent. Was this the Dragon Prince? He was the one who killed Longguang. This was also the target he wanted to kill. Lin Xian's expression was also solemn. Although he had entered the dragon tomb and obtained the 10,000 dragon divine blood, he still felt the suppression from the Dragon Prince's bloodline. The great dragon sword soul in his body also let out a ferocious roar to destroy this aura. Too strong. Lin Xian clenched his fists. The Imperial Prince's bloodline surpassed everything. It was stronger than anyone he had ever seen. In fact, his bloodline and physique were vastly superior to that of Leaf Doudenier, Radiance, and the others. However, he was not afraid. One day, he would trample the other party beneath his feet. Thinking of this, he reached out a hand and pressed down on the dark red divine dragon to suppress the aura of the Tao of dragons in its body. Don't get too excited, now is not the time. In front of them, Kunpengzi's black and white wings flapped behind his back. Yin and Yang Qi condensed, and at the same time, a terrifying extreme Tao bloodline appeared. The clash of the bloodlines of the two princes was like a battle between two great emperors. The Sky Sect's people's expressions changed. The Sky Sect's great elder said no. Today was their moment of glory. How could they allow others to disturb them? Kunpengzi waved his hand and stopped the first elder. Then he looked at the sky and said coldly, "Longwu, you're too late. You're already behind me. The current you is no longer qualified for me to make a move. What did you say? Dragon Prince roared. 10,000 dragons roared. Was the other party looking down on him? A wisp of killing intent appeared on his body, piercing through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Kunpeng said coldly, "If you want to fight with me, you'll have to reach the peak of the sacred abyss tower first and come back after you're crowned. Or it's just you wait. When I'm crowned, it'll be the time of your death." The Dragon Prince put away his dragon spear, then turned around, broke through the void, and left. They didn't fight? Countless people sighed, but they also understood that the meaning of the battle between the two princes was too different. Perhaps the two of them would only fight when the Dragon Prince was crowned. Let's go. Lin Xian left with the dark red divine dragon, Little White, and the others. There was no need to watch what happened next. Today, he came to witness the glory of the two princes. He had already seen it. He felt the pressure. He wanted to break through again. He would enter the True Path sect first and then the Sacred Abyss Tower. He also wanted to reach the peak. When Nalan Liang returned to his residence, he found that Lin Xian and the others were already cultivating. He exclaimed, "You guys came so early? The event has just ended." Lin Xian opened his eyes and said, "The rest is too boring. We're going to prepare ourselves for the upcoming test." "Are you guys really going to participate in the Dao sect?" Nalan Liang's face changed. He said, "Bai Zhen has already said that this time, the Dragon Palace will be hosting. He will definitely target you guys. When the time comes, not only will you fail, you might even be in danger. I've already made up my mind. You don't have to persuade me anymore. You have to prepare well. Otherwise, you'll really become the laughingstock of the family." Hearing this, Nalan Liang sighed. "Maybe I really can't enter the Dao sect with my talent. If I can't do it this time, I don't plan to participate. Anyway, my family is very strong." Lin Xian said, "Don't be discouraged. When the time comes for the test, follow me. I guarantee that you'll pass." The few heroes thanked him. Nalan Liang smiled. He didn't take it seriously. This was because in his opinion, Lin Xian and the rest had offended Bai Zhen. It was impossible for them to pass, so he didn't have much hope. Lin Xian smiled as well. Without saying anything, he closed his eyes again. A few days later, they were all in peak condition. Some of the people who came to participate in the Holy Abyss Ancient City had already left the city and returned to other parts of the world. At the same time, some of them stayed because the test of the 3 orthodoxies was about to begin. While everyone was talking about the coronation, they were also preparing anxiously. Finally, on this day, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He and the dark red divine dragon set off for the Dao sect again. The Holy Abyss Ancient City was very big. It was almost the size of a country. The Dao sect was in the east of the ancient city. Along the way, they saw many people flying in that direction. They were probably here to participate in the test. Among them, Nalan Liang even saw some familiar faces. It was obvious that some of the losers were here again. Lin Xian was also looking around. Suddenly, he stopped and looked in one direction. There was a figure over there. He was flying very fast. However, he wasn't flying towards the east. Instead, he was flying towards the south. Lin Xian shouted, "Wu Dao!" The figure in front stopped and turned around. There were a few figures beside Yi Wu Dao. They stopped as well. They were puzzled. "What's wrong with Brother Yi?" Yi Wu Dao said that he saw an old friend. With a sway of his body, he flew forward. The people beside him followed. Yi Wu Dao came to Lin Xian and smiled. "You really came. How is it? Have you decided which orthodoxy you want to join?" Lin Xian smiled. "I'm going to the Dao sect." "What about you?" Yi Wu Dao said, "Heaven sect. My goal is Kunpeng. More or less. My goal is the Dragon Prince." The two looked at each other and smiled. "There's not much time left. We'll split up first. I'll wait for your good news." Lin Xian waved his hand. Yi Wu Dao said, "See you at the Saint Origin Tower." Chapter 4755. The Dragon Prince was an imperial prince. Yi Wu Dao had the sacred body of the ancients, which was why he dared to have such a goal. Who was the other party? His name is Lin Xian, and he's no weaker than me. In fact, he might even be a bit stronger. The young geniuses around him could not believe it. Stronger than Yi Wudao? When they heard the name Lin Xian, they all gasped. It turned out that he was the one who stirred up a storm in Taiqing ancient city. They did not expect that even such a person would come to support the ancient city. Lin Xian continued to fly. During this time, he met some people, such as Guang Ming from the Light Clan. He also had the body of the ancients. It seemed that he also wanted to compete here. I wonder which place he wants to join. In fact, it was not just Guang Ming. There were some old friends that Lin Xian did not see. Two figures appeared in the Earth sect. One of them was surrounded by a sky full of gods and demons, looking very terrifying. If Lin Xian were here, he would be surprised because that person was Yao Guang. As one of the successors of the Purple Mansion, Yao Guang was also participating. It was unbelievable. Other than him, there was another person who joined the Earth sect. That person was Gu Feng. This guy was previously grounded by his family because he challenged Lin Xian. Now, he was finally released. His face was cold. He had not shown his talent before. This time, he was going to make a name for himself. Thinking of this, the power of space in his body became even more terrifying. Many people came from the Path sect. When Lin Xian and the others landed, the others looked over. Then they stopped paying attention. Because of the Dragon Palace, Lin Xian and the others restrained their power. Therefore, everyone thought that Lin Xian and the others were just ordinary geniuses. In fact, when they saw Nailin Liang standing beside Lin Xian, they all started laughing. Nailin Liang had already failed twice. Such a person probably had no hope this time. Lin Xian and the others who wanted to be friends with Nailin Liang did not have a chance. Toad gritted his teeth and wanted to refute. Lin Xian waved his hand and said, "Forget it. When the results are out, they will know who is the laughable one." Did this brat really come? Shi Changfeng gritted his teeth as he looked at the backs of Lin Xian and the others. He really couldn't figure out why these guys dared to come here. Some people were astonished that Brother Changfeng recognized them. Shi Changfeng said, "They were more than acquaintances. Do you have a grudge against him?" A blue-robed man laughed. "When the time comes, I can help you get rid of this brat." His eyes were filled with confidence. At this moment, cold air filled the air on the other side. The surroundings were sealed in ice, and everyone felt their hair stand on end. They all circulated their laws to resist the chill. Lin Xian's body was surrounded by sword radiance, cutting off the chill. At the same time, he was surprised that an expert had come. Furthermore, he was an expert of the ice element. In the next moment, he saw a woman in ice armor flying through the air. She was like an ice goddess. Not only was she powerful, but she was also extremely beautiful. She had a cold and noble aura, which attracted the attention of countless people. Immediately, someone exclaimed. It was Lanjiu. The rumors were true. She really came to participate. Oh no, she was the little princess of the Blue Clan. Nailin Liang saw this scene and said, "Brother, let's quickly retreat. Don't let her discover us." Lin Xian had killed a member of the Blue Clan. Now that he was discovered by the other party's geniuses, they would definitely fight. Lin Xian didn't move. He stood with his hands behind his back. No one could make him retreat in fear. "Fairy Jiu." Many young geniuses walked over and greeted her with a smile. Lan Jiu just nodded coldly, as if she didn't care. Those geniuses' faces were a little ugly. But no one dared to do anything. Because Lan Jiu was very strong, and she was the little princess of a clan of the ancients. Another important point was that he had an older brother called Lan Zilu who had joined the Dao sect and successfully entered the Dragon Palace. He was considered a core member of the Dragon Palace. Who dared to provoke such a person? If they offended Lan Jiu, even if they joined the Dao sect in the future, they wouldn't be able to survive. Lan Jiu stood there like a supreme queen looking down on the world. Suddenly, she frowned and looked in Lin Xian's direction. Her eyes were filled with a cold light. Lin Xian's surroundings were frozen. Nailin Liang felt his hair stand on end and quickly blocked it. Lin Xian's eyes also shone with a cold light. The 9 suns Saint Flame swept around and blocked the ice. The toad roared. What, you want to fight us? Come on, do you think I'm afraid of you? The surrounding people went crazy. Who was this person? He actually dared to challenge Lan Zhiyu. Did he want to die? Shi Changfeng and the others were stunned as well. Soon after, a smirk appeared on their faces. This brat was dead meat. The blue-robed man from before also smiled. Stupid thing. Looks like I don't have to do anything. Lan Zhiyu walked over and looked at Lin Xian. She frowned. I can feel the blood of the Blue Clan in you. Have you ever hurt a disciple of the Blue Clan? Her soul was pretty strong. Lin Xian was surprised that she could sense it. He had already dealt with it well. He nodded. He didn't deny it. Previously, in the White Crane Tower, there was a guy who recklessly challenged me. In the end, he was killed by me. I think he was from the Blue Clan. Lin Xian said it casually, but it was like a bolt from the blue in everyone's ears. Everyone was stunned. This guy actually killed a disciple of the Blue Clan. The blue-robed man standing beside Shi Changfeng also narrowed his eyes with a trace of astonishment in his eyes. Even he didn't dare to offend the Blue Clan, but Lin Xian dared to kill them. How ruthless was he? Did he dare to challenge such a person? He was scared, but soon he sneered. He knew that Lin Xian was dead for sure. The experts of the Blue Clan beside Lan Zhiyu were also enraged. They all unleashed their terrifying ice. Kid, you dare to kill a disciple of the Blue Clan? Kneel down and accept your death. How arrogant! Lin Xian sneered. You don't even want to ask for the reason? I killed him because he deserved it. If you guys want to fight, I'll send you to hell too. Just based on a few ants like you? The corner of Lan Zhiyu's mouth raised in disdain. At this moment, many young geniuses felt that this was a good opportunity. They all walked up. Fairy Zhiyu, such an ant isn't worth your time. Let me help you. Many of them had killing intent in their eyes. Let's do it. Lan Zhiyu said indifferently. The people in front of her were indeed not qualified for her to make a move. The surrounding geniuses sneered. Kid, you can only blame yourself for offending the Blue Clan. Now you can go to hell obediently. They emitted terrifying laws. Chapter 4756. Just then, a bell rang from afar. At the same time, a loud voice was heard. Now, the test of the True Path sect had begun. Everyone who was going to participate in the test immediately entered the test grounds. A door opened in the void in front of them. At the same time, a few doors appeared on both sides. Each door corresponded to the cultivation level of an initial stage Sage King, middle stage Sage King, late stage Sage King, peak Sage King. Even the Great Sage would enter their respective test grounds. The test of the True Path sect was to test one's strength and talent. Every test was a competition between people of the same cultivation level. Even weapons couldn't be used. This was to ensure fairness. The bell rang 9 times. Everyone's expression changed. They knew that they couldn't delay any longer. They all flew up into the sky. Some people looked at Lin Xian and sneered. Kid, you're lucky. You can live longer. But you're also a middle stage Sage King. We'll enter the same test grounds. Unless you're a coward and don't dare to enter. If you meet us there, we'll let you know what it means to live a life worse than death. After that, they all flew up into the sky and entered the second door. The dark red divine dragon snorted. You're lucky. You can live longer. Then he looked at Lin Xian and said, Kid, let's go. Lin Xian nodded and put Little White away. Then he, the toad, the dark red divine dragon, and Nailin Liang walked towards the second door. At the same time, he gave each of them an array. After entering, we might be teleported randomly. So, we'll meet up first and then attack together. After all, this test was different from the previous ones. They had offended the Dragon Palace and the Blue Clan. These people might join forces to attack them. If they acted alone, it would be too dangerous. Lin Xian was worried about the safety of the dark red divine dragon and the rest. So, he decided to meet up with them. Don't worry. After we enter, we'll use the array to search for you. The dark red divine dragon and the rest took the array and nodded. Nailin Liang prayed in her heart. She didn't want to succeed. She just wanted to be defeated safely. After they entered, they were teleported to different places. Lin Xian's figure appeared. He looked around and realized that this was an independent space. It should be a place specially opened up by the Dao sect to conduct trials. The second Taoist sect's test was for mid-stage Saint Kings. These people were all geniuses, so it wasn't a problem for them to fight against cultivators of a higher level. However, they weren't any weaker than ordinary late-stage Saint Kings or even peak-stage Saint Kings. Some of them could even kill peak-stage Saint Kings. This was the capital of a genius. Even so, not everyone was able to enter the Dao sect. Every time, only a small number of people would be able to pass. The number was so small that it made one feel despair. In the Heavenly Dao sect, Tianxing carried a long saber on his back as he flew carefully. He had followed Shi Changfeng here. However, due to the random teleportation, they had all been separated. At this moment, he was walking in the forest when suddenly, the mountain split open and a hand reached out to grab him. Damn it! The divine saber was unsheathed. Tianxing shouted angrily as he pulled out his saber and slashed out. This was the Heavenly Saber Mansion's ultimate technique. This strike of his could kill a late-stage Saint King. However, that enormous stone hand was truly too frightening. With a single strike, it shattered his blade light and sent him flying. Then his body dimmed as he was teleported out. Damn it, how could this be? Tianxing roared. He was full of hope and originally thought that he could show off his skills. Who would have thought that he would be sent out not long after entering? He didn't even know who the enemy was. It wasn't just him. Outside, there were already many people who had come out. When they came out, they were all at a loss. The blue-robed man who had been standing with Shi Changfeng also went out alone. There was an extremely terrifying starry light shining on his body. Suddenly, he realized that there was an extremely terrifying aura between heaven and earth. It condensed and formed a long spear. It enveloped him. Damn it, he quickly retreated. The starry light in the sky turned into shooting stars. However, he couldn't dodge it. He could only counterattack. He formed a seal with his palms. The starry light formed a star diagram and attacked. It collided with the divine sword that descended from the sky. In the next moment, his arms shattered and turned into a bloody mist. He was eliminated. How could this be? After he came out, he roared at the sky. He couldn't even block a single strike? Damn it. This was too embarrassing. Before he came, he was full of confidence and didn't put anything in his eyes. However, after entering, he realized that his strength wasn't as strong as he had imagined. He couldn't even withstand a single blow. How was this possible? He was starting to doubt his life. Outside, there were many people watching the battle. Although they couldn't see the people inside, they could see the defeated expression of those who came out. Among them, some people looked at the blue-robed man and laughed. This guy was probably going crazy. Sigh, there was nothing they could do. Geniuses were even worse than cabbages here. Only the geniuses of the three orthodoxies could enter. As for the others, there was no hope at all. Indeed, it didn't take long for more and more trial takers to be eliminated. Some of them went crazy in disbelief. Some of them roared at the sky and even wanted to rush back. In the end, they were hit by a force and turned into a bloody mist. Everyone felt their scalps go numb. They didn't dare to be presumptuous anymore. They could only grit their teeth and hope that they could come back the year after next. In a valley in the Dao sect, a few figures stood in the air. There was a light screen in front of them. At this moment, it was displaying the scene in the trial ground. The man in the lead was cold as if he was the king of ice. There were many people standing around him. Their expressions were different, but they were all outstanding and had a cold aura. Moreover, they all had the same dragon shadow on their bodies. They were from the Dao sect. Not only that, they were also from the Dragon Palace. The man in the lead was called Lan Zilu. At this moment, he was in charge of presiding over the test in the second door. The geniuses this time around weren't very good. Someone beside him shook his head. Another person laughed. Although there are few geniuses, there are still some, such as Sister Jiu. She is in the second door. I think with her strength she can pass it easily. At this point he looked at the man in front of him. Senior brother Zilu, your sister is also a top genius. After she enters, she can come to our dragon palace directly. That's right, the others also agreed. The man in front turned his head and laughed. Zhiyu's talent is not bad, but her princess temper still needs to be trained. Moreover, the dragon palace has its own rules. It can't be broken just because she is my sister. Chapter 4757. His words were filled with confidence because he was very confident in his younger sister. Lan Zhiyu was extremely formidable indeed. Everywhere he passed, the heavens and the earth were sealed in ice. It was even to the extent that no one was willing to be a match for him. She'd gathered a group of followers to help her resist danger. Just like that, he walked all along the way. He was extremely swift. The members of the Dragon Palace watched this scene through the formation, and they nodded incessantly. Suddenly, Bai Zhen frowned and pointed at a figure on the formation. Senior brother Zilu, it's that fellow. He challenged our Dragon Palace, and he even killed a genius of the Blue Clan. As soon as these words were spoken, the expressions of the members of the Dragon Palace changed, and all of them stared at the figure on the formation. Lan Zilu's face fell while a trace of a piercingly cold glow erupted from his eyes. He dared to kill a cultivator of his clan? He was courting death indeed. Senior brother Zilu, let me deal with him for you. Right? That kid doesn't have the qualifications to enter our Dao sect. Many voices resounded. However, one of them frowned. He said, even though that's the case, we're presiding over the test now. If we act against him now, then it would be slightly unfair to him. Wenren Yu, are you challenging senior brother Zilu? Bai Zhen laughed coldly. The others revealed hostile expressions as well. Wenren Yu said, I naturally don't interfere in the matters of senior brother Zilu's clan. But this is a test after all. Bai Zhen and the others had gloomy expressions, and they intended to say something. However, Lan Zilu waved his hand and stopped everyone. Right, Wenren Yu is right. We're really in the middle of a test now. However, I won't let that kid off. A strand of piercingly cold killing intent appeared in his eyes. A wisp of a smile arose on the corners of Bai Zhen's mouth when he heard this. He understood that Wenren Yu's words had made his attitude clear, but it also meant that it wasn't convenient for him to make a move. So, he needed someone to help him. Bai Zhen decided to make a move. Even though they were both members of the Dragon Palace, his status was too inferior when compared to Lan Zilu. If he was able to curry favor with Lan Zilu, then he wouldn't hesitate to do anything. Moreover, he'd made preparations before this. He'd notified some of the participants in the test to make a move against Lin Xian and the others. It was even to the extent that he'd silently placed a group of people in the test. These people should be making a move now. The dark red divine dragon, the toad, and Nalan Liang were teleported to different places. The dark red divine dragon was extremely powerful. Therefore, even if it acted alone, it was not afraid at all. His speed was extremely fast. At the same time, he took out a spell formation. The spell formation flickered with light as he rapidly converged it. The ground cracked open as a sword swiftly struck the crimson divine dragon's body. The dark red dragon swayed its body, and with a swing of its tail, it split the enemy into two halves. That silhouette quickly retreated. His body was shattered, and his face was filled with shock. What a powerful physique. That sword of his was a sure-kill sword. Even a late-stage Saint King would have died without a doubt, but the other party was completely fine. Get out of my sight. The dark red divine dragon roared furiously, and the roar of the dragon tore the other party's body into pieces. That person's face was filled with terror. Too powerful, he quickly fled. However, it was shattered by a finger. With a wave of his dragon claw, the opponent's soul was completely destroyed. A mere ant dared to fight against the sovereign? The dark red divine dragon sneered. You are quite powerful, but so what? Between heaven and earth, a cold voice rang out. Then, 6 figures appeared in the surroundings, with terrifying murderous aura on their bodies. Terrifying precepts covered their faces. For you, the dark red divine dragon frowned and asked, One of them laughed and said, "We are the ones who will kill you." He stretched out his palm, and thunder filled the sky. He struck the void, causing the entire sky to shatter as he charged towards the dark red divine dragon. Another person took out a long saber. The long saber was filled with poison. As long as a peak Saint King came into contact with it, he would die without a doubt. The last person formed a saint's domain. A dense fog appeared in the sky, blocking all sight. It could even suppress one's soul. With a low roar, the 6 of them attacked together. Heaven transformation palm. The dark red divine dragon roared and waved its claws. The dragon's huge hand covered the sky and turned into a piece of sky, directly tearing the other party's body apart. At the same time, the dragon's aura condensed on his body. It turned into endless dragon sabers, slashing in all directions. These 6 people were all top-notch geniuses, but they could not suppress the dark red divine dragon at all. In fact, the dark red divine dragon even had the upper hand, injuring 6 of them. The other 4 were also pale. Damn it, he was actually so powerful. "Don't worry, I will help you." The 7th person walked over. This person had a rotten aura, like a corpse. There were even bandages wrapped around some parts of his body. Green light bloomed in his eyes, and then his glabella split open. An ancient coffin appeared, with a gloomy and cold energy on it. The ancient coffin opened, and one figure after another appeared. These people were also rotten. Obviously, they were corpses that had been controlled by someone. A total of 49 corpses stood up, and green light bloomed in their eyes. They seemed to have crawled out of hell and quickly charged towards the dark red divine dragon. These people were also powerful Saint Kings when they were alive. After they died, they were controlled by someone, and some of their supernatural powers were even preserved. In an instant, it was extremely terrifying. The dark red divine dragon was attacked by more than 50 people, and it could be said to be in extreme danger. The dark red divine dragon was also angry. He roared and turned into his dragon form. His body grew to tens of thousands of miles long, and he started to sweep in all directions. A huge battle erupted in an instant, and it was extremely intense. On the other side, Toad felt the aura, and his expression changed. Nalan Liang was even more shocked. He also moved quickly, and he found Toad first. Then he charged forward and attacked quickly. Nalan Liang was shocked. "Damn it, the number of people isn't right. I have participated twice before, so I know that there aren't so many people participating in the test. How did these people get in?" Toad gritted his teeth. Damn it, it must be the Dragon Palace. They were the hosts, and it was no problem for them to secretly let some people in. These people were all arranged by them. It was indeed correct. Bai Zhen looked at the array and smiled. "Let's see how you will die this time." Lan Zilu looked at the array and frowned. "These are dragons. Is it okay to attack them like this?" He looked at Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen said, "Senior brother Zilu, don't worry. I have already asked around. They aren't from the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Also, I have already stated my identity. The Dragon Palace was built by the Dragon Prince, and they still dared to challenge us. It was obvious that they didn't belong to the Dragon Prince's family. Since that was the case, there was no need for them to exist. There were many dragons, and they couldn't be respectful to everyone. They only obeyed the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. As for the other dragons, if they dared to challenge them, they would kill them." Chapter 4758. The Dark Red Divine Dragon was in a bad situation. He was being attacked by more than 50 experts. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't resist. He was dodging quickly, but he didn't retreat at all. His eyes were red. He knew that these people were sent by the Dragon Palace. Since that was the case, he didn't need to hold back. He used all kinds of killing moves. In a short time, more than a dozen figures died. Moreover, he was also injured. In addition, these people used poison, which caused him to suffer internal injuries. The poison broke out, and he felt his strength weakening. When the Toad saw this scene, he roared, "You're courting death. I'm your ancestor who uses poison." He instantly spat out a poisonous mist that filled the sky and shrouded the surroundings. Not good, quickly dodge. These people opened their sacred domains to block. The toad came to the dark red divine dragon's side and asked, "Are you okay?" The dark red divine dragon said, "I won't die from these small injuries. I'll kill them all today." "Damn fatty, why aren't you coming over?" the toad roared. Nalan Liang sighed, but then he gritted his teeth and rushed over. "The three of us will kill our way out." The three of them charged. The mysterious people sneered. One of them had a green glow in his eyes. He controlled his corpses and moved quickly. The others attacked from afar. This cooperation was very effective. On the other side, Lin Xian frowned. He saw that the three light spots had gathered on the array, but they didn't move. This gave him a bad feeling. He guessed that the three of them might be surrounded and couldn't escape. Therefore, with a flash of his body, he flew toward the location indicated by the formation. "Don't go." Between heaven and earth, saber lights flashed. The people from the heavenly saber mansion walked out and blocked Lin Xian's path. 8 people appeared in front of Lin Xian, while another 8 appeared behind him. 16 people surrounded Lin Xian. Lin Xian frowned. "Where's Shi Changfeng from the heavenly saber mansion? Tell him to come out." The leader sneered. "Senior brother Changfeng has already brought people to kill your companions. Your companions must have gone to hell by now. We'll send you to hell to meet up with your companions." With a furious shout, the 16 people quickly moved out. Every one of them was a powerful bladesman. Now that they made their move, it was truly horrifying. Lin Xian's face darkened. It seemed like the situation with the dark red mystical dragon wasn't looking good. They had to end the battle quickly and then go there to provide support. Lin Xian's eyes exploded with a terrifying light. Endless sword chi rushed out of his body and swept through the 9 heavens. Killed with a roar, he transformed into a sword god and rushed over. The people from the heavenly saber manor on the other side used their peerless saber techniques to fight back. Between heaven and earth, the sound of swords and sabers clashing rang out, producing thunderous sounds. It was as if the Milky Way was flowing backward. The destructive power swept through everything. When the other examinees felt this aura, their scalps went numb and they quickly dodged. No one dared to approach. The 16 bladesmen from the heavenly saber mansion were surrounded by peerless saber light. They formed the peerless great heavenly saber array. He wanted to completely suppress Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian was really too strong. That sword chi was like a divine sword. With a slash of his sword, the saber lights that filled the sky were shattered. Man ruler's seal. With a palm strike, 2 peerless bladesmen turned into a bloody mist. At the same time, Lin Xian waved his long sword and formed the dragon elephant finger. This sword was accompanied by the phantom of the dragon elephant between heaven and earth. The bodies of the 3 peerless bladesmen were torn to pieces. Kill Lin Xian was filled with killing intent. There was nothing to say now. He had to send these people to hell. The power on his body became more and more terrifying. The people around him became terrified. "Damn it, the other party is too strong." The man in the lead shouted angrily. "Don't hold back. Use the heavenly saber totem. We must kill him." Endless Tao patterns appeared on the 16 people and quickly condensed. They formed the most terrifying peerless technique. The heavenly saber totem. Everyone turned into a heavenly saber. They became one with their sabers and rushed over quickly. The dragon elephant phantom in the sky was completely pierced through by them and disappeared. They charged to Lin Xian's side and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian's body swayed and kept retreating. "Great, we can take him down in one go." The man in the lead laughed loudly. He was extremely powerful, as if he had turned into a peerless divine saber. "Take me down? With just you guys?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. Great wilderness hunter hand. Tearing the sky with both hands, a terrifying crack spread forward and instantly struck the man in the lead. The man flew backward and cracks appeared on his body. The terrifying saber patterns also disappeared quickly. Damn it, how is this possible? After using the heavenly saber totem, their bodies were so powerful that they were invincible. But now, they couldn't block the other party's attack. I don't believe it. He charged over again. Lin Xian clenched his hand into a fist and punched out. This punch was like the sun falling and the golden crow rising. With a boom, the man in the lead was smashed into pieces. Damn it, his soul-exploding blade tried to escape, but Lin Xian pierced through it with his gaze. The soul flame burned and extinguished it. Senior brother. The surrounding people went crazy. They didn't expect that the senior brother who led them had already fallen. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Don't worry, you guys will go to hell to see him soon. Quickly, the totems fuse. One of them was furious. The Tao patterns on their bodies condensed and fused together. The remaining people combined and turned into a long saber. With a slash, the 9 heavens were destroyed. The divine flames in the sky were split apart. The remaining 8 people were really crazy. They wanted to do it at all costs. The entire world was shattering. Competing with me in bloodline? Lin Xian sneered. I'll let you guys see my new bloodline. With a furious roar, dragon blood appeared on his body. Behind him, terrifying figures appeared one after another. There was a golden dragon, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, a terrifying Stegosaurus, and a pterosaur. 10,000 dragon phantoms appeared, covering the sky and the earth. How is this possible? Those people went crazy. They couldn't believe it. In the next moment, the sound of dragons rang out. The 8 people were torn into pieces by the terrifying dragon shadows. The world shattered and turned into chaos. In the valley, everyone looked at the array formation in front of them and frowned. What's going on? Did the 16 people of the Heavenly Saber sect die? Bai Zhen's expression changed drastically. This was impossible. He checked carefully and found that the last attack was a monstrous phantom that covered everything. He couldn't see it clearly at all. Damn it, what trump card did that kid use? The situation didn't look good. After Lin Xian killed these people, he took away all their storage rings. He even used the Hand of Creation to condense the power of these people after they died into 16 blood essences. They circled around his hand and were put into a white jade bottle. Then he set off again. At this moment, the situation on the dark red dragon's side was very bad. Because after dozens of people came, the people of the Heavenly Saber sect also came. Chapter 4759. These 12 people were very strong. With their addition, the pressure on the dark red divine dragon's side increased. Each of them had to face more than 20 experts of the same level. They were not ordinary middle-stage Saint Kings. They were all geniuses who could fight above their level. They could kill late-stage Saint Kings, and some could even kill peak-stage Saint Kings. Not to mention the dark red divine dragon. Even if it were the 3 elders at their peak, they would have died long ago. This group of geniuses was extremely powerful. However, the dark red divine dragon and the others were not weak, especially the dark red divine dragon. His bloodline had recently erupted, and his strength was unimaginable. The toad's poison was also very powerful. The weakest was Nailin Liang. This Nailin Liang had suffered many injuries and his body was dyed red with blood. Shi Changfeng walked over and said, Nailin Liang, you are courting death by opposing us. I'll send you to hell today. You can forget about entering the Tao sect in this lifetime. He had just arrived and was in peak condition, so he wasn't injured. On the other hand, Nailin Liang had gone through a huge battle and had expended a lot of energy. Furthermore, he was heavily injured. The difference between the two of them was extremely large. Seeing this, the Crimson Divine Dragon also roared, Fatty, run. We won't blame you, we'll save your life first. Even if he wanted to run, could he? Shi Changfeng said with a smile. There was an inescapable net around them, cutting off their escape route. Kneel down and kowtow to me 3 times, call me Grandpa 3 times, and I'll give you a quick death. Are you courting death? If you have the ability, then come find me. I'll beat you up until you call me your ancestor. The toad roared at the side. At the same time, they looked at Nailin Liang. Damn Fatty, hurry up and run. We really don't have the strength to deal with you. At this moment, the 2 toads were in a very dangerous situation. Nailin Liang said, You guys treat me as your brother, How can I run away? Oh, righteous as the clouds, how touching. Shi Changfeng sneered. I wonder if you two will still be together when you go to hell? The few of them accompanied each other on the road to the Yellow Springs, so they weren't lonely. Shi Changfeng sneered and swung his saber. Not good. The Crimson God Dragon's face changed. Even though this Nalan Liang was loyal to his friends, he might not be able to keep his life anymore. Nalan Liang's expression was ugly. He gritted his teeth and said, Do you really think I'm useless? Shi Changfeng, you are courting death. Take my mixed element strike, the ultimate strike, a sure kill strike. Fatty shouted angrily. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. What kind of ultimate move is this? What a powerful trump card. However, Shi Changfeng sneered. Useless Fatty, if you really had a trump card, you wouldn't have failed twice. Go to hell. The sky blade in his hand was even more terrifying. However, he was wrong this time. Nalan Liang, who was in front of him, suddenly burst into flames and disappeared in an instant. He had turned into a skinny man, so skinny that he looked like a skeleton. However, one of his fists was blooming with incomparably resplendent light. Boom! With a single punch, the heavenly blade in the sky was instantly shattered. Shi Changfeng's expression changed greatly. He wanted to flee, but it was already too late. This punch pierced through his head and turned his body into a bloody mist. His soul was also killed with a single blow. Boom! Boom! Not only that, but the void in front of him was also constantly shattering. The ground cracked open, forming endless large cracks. Those who were close to it were also sent flying, coughing out large mouthfuls of blood. Everyone went crazy. What was this? The Crimson Divine Dragon and the Toad were also shocked. Holy shit, this Fatty. What kind of pill did he take? How did he become so terrifying? For a moment, no one dared to make a move. They all thought that Fatty was a super expert who had hidden his strength. Between heaven and earth, the cracks slowly healed. Dust filled the air, and a figure appeared in front of everyone. In the morning mist, the figure gradually became clearer. In the next moment, everyone looked over. Many people were shocked. Is an expert here? Who is this person? The figure in front of them was slender. It wasn't the Fatty from before at all. The Toad also frowned. Did this guy transform? They tore open the storm and carefully looked over. Then they were stunned. The Fatty was no longer there, but a skinny figure that looked like a mummy. There was no flesh at all. Only skin and bones were left, and there were even wounds on his body. This person's face was pale, and there was a sinister expression on his face. Who is this person? Everyone was stunned. The Toad also asked, Where did you take Fatty? The figure in front said, Heroes, it's me. Quickly support me, I'm about to fall. After saying that, he fell to the ground with a plop. The dark red dragon exclaimed, Damn, it's that damn Fatty. The Toad also jumped over. It can't be, this guy is so strong? You burned all the energy in your body just now, right? That punch directly killed a top genius. Nalan Liang was very weak at the moment. However, he grinned. This is a sure kill technique that I researched. It's not my final trump card, so I didn't use it before. That Shi Changfeng was too arrogant. I'll teach him a lesson. The people of the Heavenly Saber Manor were stunned. Shi Changfeng was killed just like that? Damn it. They all went crazy. Shi Changfeng was a top genius of the Heavenly Saber Manor. This time, he definitely had the chance to enter the Dao sect. His future achievements were limitless. But now, he actually died. Damn it, kill him and avenge senior brother. The people of the Heavenly Saber Manor gritted their teeth and charged over. The other mysterious people also sneered. One of the three was already crippled. There were only two left. This time, you all will die without a doubt. The remaining people still had many things to do. They were all filled with killing intent, ready to use their trump cards. Nalan Liang said, Let's retreat first. I don't have any energy left. The dark red dragon said, There's no need to retreat. Today all of us will die. Brother, you have a trump card. Do you think we don't? I just didn't want to use it before. Alright, I'll let them see my true ultimate skill. The toad's eyes lit up. The aura of the two became abnormally terrifying. In the Dao Sec's valley, everyone frowned when they saw this scene. Someone said, "This Nalan Liang has such an ultimate skill. It doesn't seem to be from the Nalan family." Another person said, "I guess it's an ultimate skill that he researched himself. This kid is really creative. However, it's useless. If he used this fist in a one-on-one fight, if his opponent didn't die, he would die without a doubt." Indeed, this was equivalent to his final trump card. As for Bai Zhen, his face was incomparably cold. He could already feel how ugly Lan Zilu's face was. Thinking of this, he quietly retreated. It seemed like he was preparing other trump cards. He left the valley and said to the people around him, "Activate the hunter." Looking at the figure in the distance, Bai Zhen sneered. The true killing move was about to begin. In the training grounds, the dark red dragon's aura became extremely terrifying. On the other side, the toad was also circulating its energy. Its body was originally only the size of a palm. However, it was now constantly growing. Chapter 4760. Damn it. Hurry up and attack. I can't let them use their ultimate skills. When the people on the other side saw this, they all rushed over. It's useless. It's too late. I'll let you see my ultimate skill. Dragon Saber. The dragon scales on the dark red dragon rose into the air and gathered together to form a dragon saber. With his divine dragon bloodline, the saber slashed down. This attack turned into a dragon that was tens of thousands of feet long. It descended from the sky and destroyed everything. The people of the Sky Saber sect were in despair. This saber was too terrifying. Even their elders couldn't use such a terrifying saber technique. Damn it. Hurry up and use the Sky Saber totem. The remaining people didn't dare to be careless. Endless runes appeared on their bodies and formed the Sky Saber totem. They tried their best to block it. However, it was useless. With one attack, the dragon saber shattered everything. The bodies of the people of the Sky Saber sect were all split open. They died in despair. The people of the Sky Saber sect fell. The dragon saber in the sky slowly faded. When the mysterious people saw this, they all charged towards the dark red dragon. This guy's trump card was too strong. They had to get rid of him. Otherwise, there would be endless trouble. At this moment, the toad roared. His body had become as huge as a mountain. With a whoosh, he let out a terrifying sound. Song of Destruction. This sound was too terrifying. Nothing could stop it wherever it passed. The remaining mysterious people felt a strong impact. They roared crazily and tried to resist. However, under this destructive force, they disappeared and no longer existed. The 9 heavens in front of them were shattering. The ground was cracking. It was a scene of destruction. Clang. The dragon saber turned into scales and returned to the dark red dragon. The dragon's body shrank and roared. On the other side, the toad had recovered as well. It sneered coldly. "Did you see that without my ultimate skill, would you have been able to resist? Is it over?" Nalan Liang was shocked. He thought that his trump card was strong enough. He didn't expect these two guys to be even more terrifying. More than 70 experts were completely wiped out by the 3 of them. Especially at the end, the 2 moves of the dark red dragon and the toad directly destroyed more than 50 people. How terrifying was that? There was absolutely no problem for the 2 of them to enter the Dao sect. In fact, they might even be extremely formidable existences within the Dao sect. As expected, some of the trial challengers were watching from afar. When they saw this scene, their scalps went numb. Was there such a terrifying expert among the challengers this time? Originally, he thought that only Lan Jiu, a top-tier expert, would be present. No one else would be able to compete with him. From the looks of it, these 2 demonic beasts were pretty strong. Everyone was talking about it. At this moment, someone sneered. "Don't you think this is a good opportunity?" The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. While they were weak, they quickly eliminated these people. Some of them even turned into shadows and rushed over. The toad and the dark red dragon had just heaved a sigh of relief when they suddenly frowned. They roared and tore apart the heaven and earth with their claws. A figure was sent flying while coughing up blood. The toad used poisonous gas to envelop the area. The human figures began to rot as they fled in terror. The three souls escaped into the sky, trying to escape into the distance. But at this moment, their souls stopped and gradually disappeared. It was as if it had been swallowed by something. What kind of method was this? It was too terrifying. The people watching from afar felt their scalps go numb. They originally thought that the three of them were weak and wanted to use this opportunity to eliminate them. But now it seemed too difficult. This kind of genius had completely surpassed them. Even if they were weak, they weren't people they could provoke. However, the dark red dragon frowned. They were the ones who attacked before, but the three souls were swallowed. They weren't the ones who did it. Who was it? The dark red dragon roared, and the pressure of its bloodlines spread in all directions. The void rippled and a figure walked out. Dragons. The figure smiled and said, "I wonder what your dream is like? Were you the one who swallowed the souls before?" The toad also snorted. "You want to attack us? You're still lacking. Hurry up and scram, or I'll send you to hell." A toad, "I guess your dreams aren't that great, so I'll just destroy your soul." The figure that came out floated in the void. His figure was like a dream, and his body carried a terrifying soul power. The dark red dragon frowned. "Be careful. This guy is probably a soul expert. Don't fall into his illusion." As soon as they finished speaking, they felt their souls shake. In the next moment, they seemed to have arrived in a forest. There was no danger around, and there was an endless amount of delicious food and wine in front of them. Lin Xian walked out of the forest. He said, "Ruffian dragon, the toad is no longer in danger. The enemy has been killed. Let's drink and chat." Nalan Liang grinned. "I need to make up for it." He pounced forward. The toad was also suspicious. The dark red dragon roared. "Damn it, this is a dream. Break for me." His dragon blood turned into a dragon knife that cut through everything. Like a broken mirror, the three of them came back to their senses. Their bodies were covered in cold sweat. What just happened? Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. The toad also jumped up. "Damn, you dare to use an illusion on us?" The dark red dragon's face turned ugly. This person was definitely a soul expert. He was even more terrifying than the previous 70 people combined. Nalan Liang thought of something and kept retreating. "I know who you are. You are the Dream Eater Wolf. Damn it, did you also come to join the Dao sect?" The Dream Eater Wolf was a mutated species. It was a terrifying beast that specialized in creating dreams and devouring others' dreams. The souls that were devoured would disappear and become someone else's power. The souls of the previous 3 people were devoured in this way. The dark red dragon and the others also suffered the same attack. If it wasn't for the dark red dragon's bloodline exploding at the end, the 3 of them would have been in danger. They had really underestimated the people of the world. As expected of the 3 great orthodoxies. Even the people who came were so terrifying. The dark red dragon originally thought that with their strength, they would be able to sweep through all of them without fear. But now, it seemed that they were too careless. This Dream Eater Wolf was indeed a difficult opponent. Dream Eater Wolf. When the people in the distance heard this, they all retreated. This guy killed people without leaving a trace. They wouldn't even know how they died. They didn't dare to stay any longer. The Dream Eater Wolf looked at Nalan Liang and smiled. "You can actually recognize me. Looks like you aren't stupid. All right, just obediently give up resisting." Dreamy bubbles appeared on his body and swept forward. A huge dream was about to be created by him. "Damn it, let's fight it out. Tighten your soul. Don't be controlled by him." The dark red dragon reminded. The dragon scales on his body condensed again, forming a dragon knife. The toad beside him also spat out poisonous fog to block the attack. Seeing that the battle was about to erupt again, the Dream Eater Wolf was stunned. He looked around. Then, the corner of his mouth curled up. "Looks like I don't have to do anything. You guys are already targeted." Chapter 4761. After speaking, he smiled and said, "Take care of yourselves. I don't want your souls." He turned and left. The Dream Eater wolf came quickly and left quickly. In an instant he disappeared without a trace. Toad heaved a sigh of relief. Were they scared away by us? Nail and Liang also smiled. Perhaps Brother Lin had come. They thought that Lin Xian had come to help. But soon, they realized that wasn't the case. Lin Xian hadn't appeared yet, but there were 4 auras surrounding them. They spread out in all directions and shrouded them once again. What a terrifying aura. Nail and Liang's scalp went numb. The dark red dragon god was furious. Were there more experts coming to kill them? Did they really think that they were pushovers? 4 figures appeared in all directions. The 4 of them were wearing armor, and even their faces were covered. It was impossible to tell who they were. Only a pair of eyes were emitting a piercingly cold light. The 4 of them held 4 sabers in their hands, and a terrifying murderous aura came from them. The atmosphere in the entire area was extremely oppressive. There were still some people in the distance who hadn't managed to escape in time. When they saw this scene, their pupils constricted. Someone exclaimed, "Hunters!" Damn it. Did the people from the Tao sect of this world make a move too? These people were crazy. Usually, the beginning of a trial would be a battle between cultivators, and there would be arrays and traps in the trial space. There wouldn't be hunters. Even if there were, it shouldn't be. This should be the end. A battle between a few top experts should be one-on-one. Now that the 4 hunters were attacking together, it was obvious that they had the intention to kill. Who was giving orders to these hunters? What kind of terrifying existence did the 3 of them offend? Someone said, "I heard that they didn't know what was good for them and offended the Dragon Palace." What? Offended the Dragon Palace? The Dragon Palace was the host this time. They could mobilize all their forces. The 3 of them were dead meat. No wonder the Dream Eater wolf retreated. He didn't want to offend the Dragon Palace. Let's go too. At this moment, everyone retreated. No one dared to offend the Dragon Palace. No one was a match for the hunters. The hunters were disciples who cultivated in the Tao sect. The experiences and cultivation resources of these people were not something the hunters could compare with. The dark red divine dragon and the others felt their hair stand on end. Although there were only 4 of them, they were much scarier than the previous group of geniuses. From the looks of it, there would be a tough battle ahead. The faces of the 3 turned cold. At this moment, a 5th figure descended from the sky. He swept through the surroundings like a golden god of war. "Brat, you're finally here." The Crimson Dragon was pleasantly surprised, and the Toad heaved a sigh of relief. Now that Lin Xian was here, the pressure on their side would be greatly reduced. Lin Xian frowned as soon as he arrived. The world around him was shattered. It was obvious that a terrifying battle had taken place here. Now, there were 4 more mysterious people here. Their aura made his hair stand on end. "Who was this person?" he asked. The Toad said that he heard that the hunter was a Tao sect disciple. Lin Xian snorted. Were they sent by the Dragon Palace? The dark red divine dragon said, "Brat, don't force it. We killed 70 geniuses earlier and exhausted quite a bit of our energy." Nailin Liang was heavily injured and retreated first. Lin Xian nodded. He waved his hand and led them back. However, the 4 hunters all walked over. One of them said coldly, "It's useless. No matter how strong you are, you're not a match for us." As disciples of the Tao sect, they had absolute confidence. These people who hadn't entered the Tao sect to cultivate couldn't be compared to them. One of them slashed with his saber. It was very powerful. The dark red divine dragon and the others were shocked. From the looks of it, they still had a long way to go after entering the Tao sect. Lin Xian sneered and waved his hand. He enveloped them. His other hand enveloped the dark red divine dragon. The 3 of them. In the next moment, he used the power of the void and tore everything apart. They disappeared. What was going on? The other 3 hunters walked up with their brows tightly knitted. Did the teleportation disappear? After them. The 3 of them moved quickly. In the Tao sect's valley. Wenren Yu instantly frowned when she saw the hunters move out. You actually dared to use the hunters without permission. You've violated the rules. Bai Jin sneered. Don't you think you're meddling too much? Wenren shouted coldly. As the organizer, the most important thing was fairness. You sent 4 hunters to deal with them, so how could they possibly survive? After he finished speaking, he looked at Lan Zilu. Senior brother Lu, please stop this immediately. Lan Zilu said indifferently. The hunters had been activated during the trial, so there was no need to make a fuss. These people were very strong, but they still needed to temper themselves. The hunters were the best for them. Hunters also needed powerful prey in order to level up. But what else did Wenren want to say? Lan Zilu waved his hand to stop her. Bai Zhen didn't violate the rules. Wenren sighed. He knew that he was just an ordinary member of the Dragon Palace, and his identity couldn't be compared to Lan Zilu. So he could only shake his head and sigh. He wanted to leave. Bai Zhen stopped him. Where are you going? You should stay in the gorge before the competition ends. Wenren gritted her teeth. Looks like they're afraid that I'll report this matter to the elders. At this moment, Wenren felt slightly disappointed. This is the Dragon Palace that I've always admired. After all, I've always been proud of joining the Dragon Palace. But now it would seem like the Dragon Palace is really too disappointing. He could only pray that they were strong enough to avoid the attacks of the hunters. Below a cliff, space split open, and then the figures of Lin Xian and the others appeared. The hunter shouted coldly and activated his Saint Domain to defend himself. He sneered. Do you think you'll be a match for me after teleporting us away? It's useless. Actually, I alone can crush all of you. Is that so? Lin Xian sneered. Perhaps you don't know our strength. A terrifying radiance erupted from his body. The dark red dragon and the toad walked over as well, and all 3 of them revealed cold smiles. Lin Xian slapped out with his palm. The primeval devil mountain appeared in the sky and descended, causing the entire world to shatter. The hunter roared furiously and slashed with his saber towards the primeval devil mountain. At the same time, his other hand swept out, and it seemed to have transformed into a divine sword. The 3 of them were courting death, so he fulfilled their wishes. But in next to no time, he realized that he was wrong. He was actually unable to resist them. First, the primeval devil mountain in the sky directly blocked his saber light. The toad and the dark red dragon were very strong as well, and they didn't fear his attacks at all. Damn it, I miscalculated. These 3 can't be measured by top-rate geniuses. They're heaven-defying geniuses. Especially this newcomer. Every single move of his carried strength that was too strong, and he was like a golden god of war. Retreat. The hunter actually retreated at this moment. If others saw this, they would probably be flabbergasted. The members of the Dragon Palace in the Dao Sect's ancient mountain frowned tightly when they saw this. This was the first time a hunter had fled. Chapter 4762. Get lost. The hunter punched out. Lin Xian waved his sword and resisted. The hunter was knocked back, and his hand was split open. Damn it. Why is the opponent so strong? Under the attacks of the 3, the hunter was about to cry. In the end, he was suppressed by the Tai Chi diagram. Nalan Liang walked over in shock. It was the first time the hunter was suppressed. Quickly take off his helmet. See who it is. The toad took off the hunter's helmet. Inside was a young man. His face was ugly. Damn it. Let me go. You wanted to kill us before. Now you want us to let you go. Don't you think it's funny? The dark red dragon sneered. The hunter said, I'm just following orders. Serve your ass. The dark red divine dragon slapped him. The hunter's face turned black. What? Not satisfied? I'll kick you to death. The toad jumped on the hunter's face. The dark red dragon waved his dragon claw. Nalan Liang was dumbfounded. The hunter was beaten into a pig's head. In the Dao Sect's ancient mountain, the people of the Dragon Palace were also stunned. The hunter was beaten up. When Rinlo was startled. Previously, he was worried about these people. Now, it seemed that his worries were unnecessary. Thinking of this, he laughed. Bai Zhen, it seems that your scheme won't succeed. Bai Zhen's face was ugly. Damn it. Lan Zila's face was also cold. He turned his head and glanced at Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen's scalp was numb. He said that there were 3 more people. The remaining 3 wouldn't make a mistake. On the cliff, the hunter was about to cry. 3 heroes, please spare my life. I'm just following orders. I won't dare to do it again. Brat, how should we deal with this? Kill him? The dark red dragon's eyes were filled with killing intent. The hunter's scalp was numb. I'm a disciple of the Tao sect. You can't kill me. Can't kill? The toad sneered and slapped him again. The hunter's teeth flew out. Nalan Liang said, indeed, they couldn't be killed because they had a safety token. It was made by the Tao sect's elders. When the hunter was faced with certain death, the token would break and the hunter would be teleported away. So it was like this. Lin Xian nodded. Since he couldn't be killed, he might as well beat him up. After that, Lin Xian snatched the armor and saber from the other party and put them on. After he put on the mask, he said, Can you tell who I am? The dark red divine dragon shook its head. Brat, are you thinking about it? The toad also laughed. Haha, I can already see the following scene. That hunter was crazy. The other party wanted to impersonate him and get close to his companions. He estimated that the other 3 hunters would end up worse than him. What's with that look in your eyes? You still want to leak information? I'll hit you. The toad kicked him with its foot. Next, they began to torture the hunter. The hunter even had the thought of dying. In the end, he seized an opportunity, crushed the token, and teleported away. He probably didn't want to come back here for the rest of his life. Alright, let's go. You 3 hide. Lin Xian put on the hunter's armor and flew into the air. Tao sect. In the valley, the people of Dragon Palace were also going crazy. How could they play like this? Bai Zhen's face became even uglier. He had a bad premonition. Sure enough, Lin Xian directly swept across the 9 heavens. The terrifying killing intent was not hidden at all. Countless people raised their heads in horror. It was a hunter. Oh heavens, run quickly. When those trial takers saw this figure, they quickly fled. Soon, Lin Xian saw a hunter. He flew over and said, Is that kid done? Lin Xian nodded. It's done. 3 reckless things were all killed by me. Hey, look at who's behind you. The hunter on the opposite side turned his head. Lin Xian slapped the other party's body. The Taiji diagram rotated and directly split the other party into 2. Ah, damn it, you dare to attack me? That hunter had gone crazy. He really couldn't understand why his companion would suddenly attack. Lin Xian sneered. If I attack you, I'll let you go to hell. With that, he directly waved his hand and formed a barrier space, enveloping the other party. The toad and the dark red dragon appeared. Nalan Liang also had a smirk on his face. Damn it, why aren't you dead yet? He looked at Lin Xian and shouted angrily. What the hell are you doing? Lin Xian took off his mask. What do you think we are doing? Damn it, it's you. Where's that person? The hunter was crazy. It wasn't his companions, it was these guys. Attack, don't give him a chance to escape. Lin Xian shouted angrily and the 4 of them attacked. It didn't take long for the hunter to be suppressed. This time, they directly sealed the other party. Even if they couldn't kill the other party, they couldn't let the other party escape. Moreover, these hunters were able to listen to the Dragon Palace's orders. They must be from the Dragon Palace. Since this was the case, they wouldn't hold back. After a period of torture, this hunter even had the heart to die. Next, the other 2 hunters were in the same situation. They were all approached by Lin Xian as their companions and then suddenly attacked. The 3 hunters were suppressed. Their faces were swollen like a pig's head. Lin Xian used the dragon-shaped sword energy to completely seal the 3 of them and then threw them in. The 4 of them wore the hunter's armor. Let's go! The 4 of them waved their hands and quickly soared into the sky. In the Tao sect, the atmosphere in the valley was extremely strange. No one dared to speak. Only Wenren Yu had a cold smile on her face. These people broke the rules, but they didn't expect that the other party was too strong. This was really embarrassing. If this spread out, the Dragon Palace would probably be laughed at. What did you do? Lan Zilu turned around with a cold expression. This Baizhen really couldn't accomplish anything but was good at spoiling things. Not only did he not kill a single enemy, but he also caused the 4 hunters to be heavily injured. The 3 of them were suppressed. Was this a slap to the Dragon Palace's face? I was wrong. Senior brother, please calm down. I will deal with them myself. Baizhen was so frightened that his hair stood on end. He wasn't a match for Lan Zilu. Lan Zilu was very strong. He probably couldn't defeat him even if there were 10 of him. Baizhen hurriedly retreated. This time, he wanted to personally lead people in and kill those people. This is your last chance. The Dragon Palace doesn't want trash. Lan Zilu turned around and said coldly, I know. Senior brother, don't worry. There won't be any accidents this time. Baizhen's expression was cold. He wore the hunter's armor. He led people in again. Yi Wuya and Shui Dan. They were scouting the surroundings. They followed Lan Jiyu this time. If they could obtain Lan Jiyu's favor, then their future achievements would be limitless. There's no danger here, Yi Wuya said. Shui Dan nodded. There's no danger here either. The 2 of them met up and prepared to return to tell Lan Jiyu. However, at this moment, they discovered that 4 figures were about to arrive. Who are they? The 2 of them shouted angrily. Killing intent appeared on their bodies. Their terrifying auras were terrifying. But when they saw the 4 figures, their expressions became extremely unsightly. Hunters. Chapter 4763. Run, they didn't dare to fight back. Wanna run? Lin Xian and the others sneered. They knew these 2 people. When Lan Jiyu faced them, these 2 people wanted to kill them. How could they hold back now? Soon, the few of them were subdued. The dark red dragon and the toad sneered and began to torture these 2 geniuses. They were better off dead than alive. Lan Jiyu frowned. The people beside him said, why aren't these 2 guys back yet? Are they in danger? One of the geniuses from the blue clan sneered. What trash! How can they be with our sister Jiyu with such strength? They won't come back. At this moment, a voice rang out. Then 2 heads were thrown from the sky. The 2 heads roared crazily. Fairy Jiyu, save us. Lan Jiyu's pupils constricted. The surrounding people were in an uproar. Who dared to attack these 2 people? Although they said it disdainfully, Yi Wuya and Shui Dan were both top tier. They were on par with them. At this moment, there was someone who could easily injure the 2 of them. Who exactly was this person? Soon, they saw 4 silhouettes appearing in all 4 directions. They were wearing battle armor and holding battle swords. They were emitting a terrifying killing intent. Hunters. The geniuses' scalps went numb. Lan Jiyu couldn't believe it either. Of course, she knew about the hunters. But who was she? Her brother was a genius from the Dragon Palace. He was the leader of this event. How could they send hunters to kill her? Who sent you? Don't you know who I am? Lan Jiyu said coldly. No matter who you are, you will have to accept our test. Kill. Lin Xian roared in anger and quickly attacked, slashing out with his saber. The other 3 also attacked aggressively. The biting cold aura made their scalps go numb. Damn it. Lan Jiyu slapped out frost, forming a world of ice and snow. She said, attack. The surrounding people also attacked. But how could they be a match for him? Apart from Nailin Liang, who they could contend with, they couldn't contend with the others, especially Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon. Lin Xian's blade was incomparably terrifying. Every strike contained the aura of the great dragon sword soul. Those geniuses couldn't even block a single slash and were split in half. Too many of them had perished. Damn it, how did this happen? When the people from Dragon Palace in True Path Sect saw this scene, their faces changed. They could clearly see the scene from before. They naturally knew that this was a hunter, Lin Xian and the others in disguise. However, they didn't expect the other party to meet Lan Jiyu. They all looked at Lan Jiyu. Lan Jiyu's face was also cold. Damn it, was his little sister in danger? Although he had unlimited confidence in his sister, the strength displayed by Lin Xian and the others was too shocking. He didn't have much confidence now. Senior apprentice brother Zilu, don't worry, Baizhen has already brought people over. They should be arriving soon. In the training grounds. The battle was extremely terrifying. Other than Lan Jiyu, the other geniuses were all killed. Lan Jiyu's face was also ugly. She could fight against one, but 3 of the 4 challengers were very powerful. If it was a group attack in the end, she wouldn't be a match at all. Thinking of this, she shouted coldly. "Stop. I know the rules of the challengers. It's a one-on-one battle. Why are you attacking together? Don't worry, when you're the only one left, we'll fight one-on-one." With that, Lin Xian slashed again, turning a genius next to him into a bloody mist. There was a roar. Those people from the Blue Clan were usually high and mighty, but now they were like ants, dying instantly. Lan Jiyu's face turned cold. She felt that something was very wrong. This definitely wasn't a real challenger. "Who are you? The people who killed you." Lin Xian's voice was cold, and his killing intent swept through the 9 heavens. Lan Jiyu's body shook, and a blue light exploded from her eyes. She shouted coldly. "So it was you." As a top expert, she finally recognized Lin Xian. This was the person who killed her family's genius. She didn't expect him to pretend to be a challenger. "It seems that you're not stupid. In that case, will you obediently kill yourself, or will you let us do it? Let's fight one-on-one. I'll let you know the difference between us." Lan Jiyu's eyes were cold as she stared at Lin Xian. "As you wish," Lin Xian walked out. "I'll let you have 3 moves. You're courting death." Lan Jiyu roared. Endless frost rushed out of her body, forming a world of frost that covered the land. A terrifying ice aura condensed. It seemed to be able to freeze everything. Seeing this, Lin Xian sneered. He waved his hand, and the man-ruler's seal struck forward. Like a celestial emperor, it shattered the frost that filled the sky. It charged towards Lan Jiyu. Lan Jiyu snorted. She waved her hand, and the ice that filled the sky turned into an ice dragon, blocking the man-ruler seal and sealing it between heaven and earth. Then, with another attack, countless frost arrows fell from the sky. Lin Xian used the great desolate sky-splitting hand, tearing the world apart. The frost swords were all shattered. At the same time, he attacked again. The battle between the 2 was terrifying. Lan Jiyu's face was serious, but her eyes were filled with confidence. She didn't think she would lose. But soon her face turned cold. She found that her opponent was really strong and gave her a lot of pressure. Especially when she found that her opponent was calm and didn't seem to be nervous. In fact, he seemed more relaxed than her. Was this a casual attack? Damn it, she didn't believe it. Lin Xian was calm. He attacked casually. Dragon Elephant Finger. The dragon elephant phantom danced in the sky, and the space in front of it shattered. The entire world of frost shook violently. Lan Jiyu gritted her teeth. Was he looking down on her? She was furious. Her bloodline erupted, and she was about to use her trump card. But at this time, a cold voice came from the sky. "Kid, I've finally found you." As soon as the voice rang out, Lin Xian frowned and looked up into the sky. The dark red dragon and the others also exclaimed. "Oh no, what a terrifying aura." Lan Jiyu retreated and didn't attack. She saw a familiar person, Bai Zhen, who was her brother's subordinate. Bai Zhen had come, and he had brought 10 hunters with him. They descended from the sky. The whole world froze. These hunters were all from the Taoist sect. They were very strong, especially Bai Zhen, who had joined the Dragon Palace. Such a strong team could definitely suppress everything. "Kid, I let you go last time at the White Crane Tower. I didn't expect you to come here and cause trouble." Chapter 4764. Just you? Lin Xian sneered. "You didn't attack me at the White Crane Tower because you were afraid of me. You think you're my match now that you've called over 10 helpers?" The moment he said that, even the 10 hunters were stunned. What a bold person, daring to challenge Bai Zhen. Seems like he's tired of living. Bai Zhen's face darkened. "Kid, I'll let you know what it's like to wish you were dead." Nalan Liang stood out and shouted. "Your cultivation isn't at the middle stage of the Saint King realm. Even if the challengers want to attack, you can't. You've broken the rules." "Indeed." Bai Zhen's cultivation was at the late stage of the Saint King realm. He shouldn't have come to the second gate. Bai Zhen sneered. You talk to me about the rules, but I'm the rules. I can change them at any time. You don't agree? What strong words. Nailin Liang and the others gritted their teeth. Damn it. Lin Xian sneered. How disappointing. So this is the True Path sect? I thought the True Path sect was an ancient inheritance. The geniuses inside are all at the peak of the world. But who would have thought that there's trash like you? If the True Path sect is filled with people like you, then I don't think I need to join. What did you say? Bai Zhen was furious. The True Path sect isn't something you can criticize. Do you believe that I won't kill you right now? You can try and see if you can do it. Lin Xian's expression was cold. Although they couldn't use weapons here, so what? Lan Jiu frowned and said coldly. Senior brother Bai Zhen, it's indeed against the rules for you to attack. Let the hunters behind you do it. Sister Jiu, don't be afraid. I'm in charge here. Bai Zhen smiled. But Lan Jiu frowned even more. The True Path sect has its rules. I don't want to break them because of me. I think my brother wouldn't want this to happen in the test he's hosting. If this gets out, it won't be good for my brother's reputation. Damn it. Bai Zhen's expression was cold. This Lan Jiu was really an idiot. What was there to be proud of? If it wasn't for the fact that his brother was Lan Zilu, he wouldn't have bothered with him. Thinking of this, he snorted coldly. Fine, since you've said so, I won't make a move. However, these 10 hunters were all at the early stage of the Saint King realm. Let them do it. Bai Zhen waved his hand and sneered. Go and take him down. The 10 hunters stood in the void, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. However, what was surprising was that the 10 of them did not attack together. Instead, only one of them stepped forward. Bai Zhen's face sank and he said coldly, I said let's attack together, didn't you hear me? The hunter who walked out was wearing a mask. He said coldly, Senior brother Bai Zhen, the rule of the hunters is to fight one-on-one, not group attacks. As a genius, I have my own pride. I hope that Senior brother Bai Zhen won't make things difficult for us. That's right, Senior brother Bai Zhen hopes that you will act according to the rules. The 9 hunters behind him also spoke coldly. Bai Zhen's face was as black as the bottom of a pot. Damn it, these guys actually dared to refute him? He was mad with anger. Nailin Liang was also stunned. Damn, what's going on? However, the toad laughed loudly. Ha, this is really a slap in the face. It seems that only you are despicable and shameless in the True Path sect. The others are normal. Lin Xian also laughed and nodded. The True Path sect is indeed an ancient inheritance. I take back my words from before. These top geniuses all had their own pride. The fact that they could come to the True Path sect meant that they had already surpassed the majority of the geniuses. Would they join forces to deal with a mid-stage Saint King? They were disdainful in their hearts. However, this also gave Lin Xian a chance. Bai Zhen gritted his teeth. A bunch of stupid things. He didn't say anything and just stood there coldly. The first hunter walked out and said, You can attack. Boom. Lin Xian punched out, and it was as if a sun was rotating between heaven and earth. The terrifying divine fire swept through the 9 heavens. Everyone felt a wave of heat, as if their bodies were about to melt. Lan Jiu's brows furrowed tightly. This guy was indeed strong, to be able to restrain her frost. The hunter's pupils also shrank. He took a deep breath and shouted angrily. He formed a seal with his palms, and a divine eagle swooped down. Boom! The two collided, and heaven and earth shook. The hunter retreated, and endless cracks appeared on his body. He stopped there in disbelief. After a while he sighed. You are really strong. I'm not your match. The 9 hunters behind him were also shocked. The power of this punch made their hair stand on end. Instantly, the 7 hunters shook their heads. We are not his match either. Their strength was the same as the first hunters, or at least not much higher. Therefore, they probably couldn't take this punch. Only 2 hunters' eyes flashed. One of them walked out and said, Let me try. Now, they were no longer here to hunt. Instead, they were here to challenge. Lin Xian nodded. He formed a seal with one hand and used the man-ruler seal. It was as if a celestial emperor had come out. So terrifying. The hunter's pupils shrank. The power of this palm was even more terrifying than the previous punch. Tianluo Divine Fist. He didn't dare to be careless. He used his most powerful technique. The two collided. The hunter flew out and smashed into the endless mountains. He climbed up from the ruins and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. He was really strong. To be able to become a hunter, he was very powerful in the Taoist sect. But now, he couldn't even take one punch from Lin Xian. The last hunter also shook his head and sighed. There's no need to fight. I'm not his match. With your talent, even if you can't be first in the middle stage of the Saint King realm, you are definitely in the top 3. They were ashamed of their inferiority. The 10 hunters admitted defeat. Lan Jiu was shocked. She couldn't believe it. She furrowed her brows tightly. She originally thought that she would be the first person to take the test, but now it seemed that she might not be the first. The young man in front of her made her feel a lot of pressure. This pressure was like the one her brother had given her back then. Bai Zhen's expression turned even uglier. Damn it. He clenched his teeth so hard that they almost broke. He didn't expect that he would admit defeat so easily with 10 hunters. Although the opponent was strong, if the 10 of them attacked together, they would definitely have a chance of winning. But these 14 people didn't listen to him at all. Ridiculous pride of a genius. He cursed in his heart. Okay, only you are left. Lin Xian looked at the other and said indifferently, Bai Zhen, you can do it yourself. Bai Zhen was stunned. He couldn't believe it. Even Lan Jiu's expression changed. In her opinion, defeating 10 hunters was enough to pass the test. But the other party still wanted to challenge Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen wasn't someone these hunters could compare to. Perhaps even 10 hunters added together wouldn't be a match for Bai Zhen. Bai Zhen sneered. Are you sure you want to fight me? What a reckless brat. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.